Welcome back to Dale Softball Stadium. Time for game 2 of this doubleheader. And the third game of the series is NC State searching for a series win following an incredible walk-off win just a few minutes ago here in Raleigh. Evan Budrovich and Brantley Hatridge with you today. And for the Wolfpack, it was a home run fest in the 7th, fueling the comeback.
Yeah, Randy Farraker with her second home run of the game, bringing NC State within 1. And then after Sam Sack has moved over to second base, the pop out from Bridget Norberg along the right field line. The pinch runner, Lainey Merrick, able to slide into third and tie this ball game up on the throwaway. But one pitch, and Sam Russ emphatically dropping that bat as she sends the NC State Wolfpack to their 6th consecutive victory and a 2-0 series lead against the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets.
One of 3 home runs for the Wolfpack in this comeback effort. Georgia Tech jumped out 4-0 in the first, but a tough go of it, the loss to McPherson, who gave up those 2 home runs late. And as the Wolfpack even tweeted on their account today, comebacks are our kind of thing, and we saw it in game 2. Brantley, with such a short turnaround, how do you get ready for this third game following a dramatic comeback for State and a disappointing loss for Tech?
Well, Coach Eileen Morales for Georgia Tech, what she's got to do right now, she's got to get that loss out of her players' heads, and that's going to be tough to do. It's a team that's been, scuffling as of late. Winners of 5 of their first, come out on a 5-game winning streak, and then they've lost 12 in a row. Now, this one, by the way of a walk-off. So she's got to find a way to get her team to forget about it. But for NC State, this is where you kind of put the pedal to the metal. If the Wolfpack are able to come out early and get some runs on Georgia Tech, you could really see these Yellow Jackets be deflated and kind of mail it in, so to speak.
Georgia Tech, their 3rd 1-run loss in conference play. And despite the now 0-8 start in conference, this team is much better than the record may suggest.
They really are. I mean, they're one of the best hitting teams in the conference as we've seen so far in this young season. But where they struggle is in the circle. They lead the league, or the Atlantic Coast Conference. They lead the ACC in home runs given up. And you see there, as NC State was able to hit 3 in the last game, they hit 1 on Friday night. But the big fly has been Georgia Tech's, biggest Achilles heel, and it's been NC State's shining light.
Both coaches, I should say, going over the lineups, getting us all set for first pitch here in game 3. That quick turnaround certainly a big discussion point, but also the home run power in this series. 2 of the top home run hitting teams in the ACC. The Wolfpack hit 3. And Georgia Tech with a couple home runs last night, 1 more today, and there is plenty of power to go around in these lineups.
And you see right there the home run hitter, Sam Russ, her 4th of the season. She's hit, as I mentioned, she's hit 4. 2 of her 4 home runs have been walk-offs. Both of her walk-offs have been on the very first pitch. She hit a walk-off against Louisville after Sam Gress hit a 2-run tying home run earlier in the season, and then first pitch swinging hits a game-winning home run to beat Georgia Tech in the first game of today's doubleheader.
When we come back, starting lineups, and we'll get you all set. NC State and Georgia Tech here in Raleigh, right after this quick break.
Second baseman, number 2, Bailey Zeitler. Batting 8th at shortstop, number 7, Jen Soleo. Batting 9th at third base, number 10, Megan Cassidy. In the pitcher's circle for game 2 for the Jackets, right-hander, number 9, Blake Melliman. The Yellow Jackets are coached by Aileen Morales. He's assisted by Reese Mariconda and Marty McDaniel. And now the starting lineup for your NC State Wolfpack. Leading off, playing left field, number 3, Sam Russ. Batting second, right fielder, number 16, Tati Forbes. Batting third, in center, number 42, Angie Rizzi. Batting cleanup at third base.
Luckily, no anthem, so we should be a little more on time.
Base, number 13, Randy Farraker. Behind the plate, batting 6th, number 18, Sam Sack. Batting 7th, the designated player, number 28, Bridget Nordberg. Batting 8th, at shortstop, number 9, Sam Gress. And batting 9th, second baseman, number 15, Kaylee Lambrick. In the pitcher circle today for game 2 for the Wolfpack. She's a righty. She's a freshman from Loma, California. She's number 99. She's Brooklyn Lucero. Head coach of the Wolfpack, Jennifer Patrick Swift. She is assisted by Chelsea Wilkinson and Patrick Swift.
Getting your first look at freshman arm Brooklyn Lucero out of Loma, California, or out of Loma, Colorado, and here she is in her first outing of the series. Brantley certainly following the pitching performance earlier in this game. A couple of combo outings from Gress and then Estelle Czech. What does Lucero bring to the table here in Game 3?
Brooklyn Lucero brings, a winning mentality. She did that all throughout her high school career. Now here at NC State, she's gotten the opportunity to see some innings here in the circle, and she's going to be the beneficiary of Coach Jennifer Patrick Swift going to her this game. So this is her opportunity, like we talked about with Estelle Czech earlier in the first game. This is Lucero's opportunity to show her coach that she can pitch against ACC competition, so that when these 4-game series continue to find their way for NC State on these weekend series, that she can go out there and she can give her team quality innings.
Brooklyn Lucero is ready to roll, and here we go in Game 3. Taking a strike, Brianna Roper in the top of this lineup for Georgia Tech. Same top 5 from the earlier game today, where Roper finished 1 for 3 with a couple runs scored. Lucero pounded the zone early. Always a tough out, and Brianna Roper at the top of this lineup, a career .290 hitter. Already 5 hits in the series, but took a tough one off her leg that last swing.
And she's the ideal batter that you want in the second game of a doubleheader after the tough luck loss in Game 1. The upperclassman, she just finds a way to get on base, and you see here, even though she's behind in the count right now, very calm, very poised there in the at-bat, just trying to walk off that Charlie horse she just gave herself.
Georgia Tech was essentially 1 out away from winning its first conference game 30 minutes ago. Now they come right back, trying to salvage Game 3 of the series with a 4th game tomorrow. Nice start with a nearly base hit. That was just foul. Brooklyn Lucero, who helped her Lakewood Ranch High School to national rankings in her career, taking on a Georgia Tech offense that hits .285 on the season. And we saw plenty of that power earlier today. One and 2 to Roper, who led the country in hits 2 years ago. So what does she do today? A couple more hits to her total. Her last at-bat, she walked in the 7th, one of 2 walks on her day. Make it 2 and 2.
And you're absolutely right, Evan. This Georgia Tech offense is high-powered, one of the better offensive teams in the conference. So you have to wonder, that their bats are going to keep you into the ballgame. It's just, is the pitching going to be able to keep them there? Because NC State, as we can see, can turn it out on a dime.
It starts with a punch out for Lucero. A nice start to her debut in this series.
Roper looking for something different than the fastball on the outer half of the plate, perhaps maybe an off-speed pitch. Freezes her on the outside corner, and a good start here by Brooklyn Lucero.
Lucero, 1 start in her career, went scoreless against Gardner-Webb this past weekend. And pounds the zone, working ahead of Cameron Stanford. Stanford had the big bat in this lineup in Game 2, 3 for 5. 2 runs and a couple RBI for the Alpharetta, Georgia product. And maybe her biggest swing, Brantley, was a home run in the 5th that made it a 4-run ball game.
Yeah, she got a pitch over the outer or the middle half of the plate that Estelle Czech just missed her spot on, and sent a moonshot over that left center field wall that, at the time looked to be a pretty big hit for Georgia Tech.
There's strike 2 on the foul ball. So NC State, the lone team in the conference, sitting now in second place with the win today at 6-2. Facing a Georgia Tech team that's the lone team in the conference yet to win a game. Yet they've had 3 one-run losses, so been knocking on the door plenty of times. Slow roller to Russ. On the move, makes, oh, first baseman pulls her foot. Farricker couldn't hold on.
Would have been a heck of a play by Sam Gress anyway. Just gets past the glove of the outstretched Lucero. You see right here, she tried and eventually just lets it go, but Gress makes the throw, pulls Farricker off the bag, so Georgia Tech able to get a runner on early. Curious to see how they rule that, Evan, whether they're just going to give Stanford an infield single or if that's going to be an error on the shortstop.
I possibly ruled an infield single, but that's just me. I'm a pro hitter. I know you were a pitcher in college, so you're a pro pitcher with that ruling.
Well, with Trisha Awald at the bat right now, if she happens to hit a home run, I would love it as a pitcher if that gets ruled an error. But, you know, ultimately, we don't know. We're just waiting on the official scoring still.
There's strike one. Trisha Awald had a nice start to her weekend and has continued that with 2 hits today. The junior's now hitting .438.
It's just a gaudy number. Any time a batter's hitting in the 300s, you're like, okay, this batter knows what they're doing. They've got a great talent here. But to hear Awald hitting well over 400, it's not like she's scraping 400. She's well over it. Just shows how strong she is and how well she has perfected her craft.
There's an oppo shot towards her own head coach, Eileen Morales, who's in the Georgia Tech Hall of Fame. Just got elected this past year.
So well deserving too.
Part of the Puerto Rican national team and a 3-time all-conference player at Georgia Tech. If there's anything this team's going to do under her watch, it's score runs here in year 4. Awald on 2-2, slaps one foul. So the ball was flying out of the park this afternoon. Now as we dip into the evening, you do wonder if home runs will be aplenty between the 2 top home run teams in the conference.
Judging by what we've seen these first 2 ball games, I'd have to lean towards the side of yes. Both teams leaving the ballpark frequently so far this weekend.
Getting a new softball from our home plate umpire. Brooklyn Lucero in her 2nd career start. And something NC State has not had in this series is long outings from their first starters. Trisha Awald, not only a tough out to get, she was top 5 in the conference in doubles and home runs last year. Guess what? She's right up there again in 2021.
Not surprising at all. She's very balanced from the left side. You see there, weight slightly shifted back, but she just has such a great swing, goes through the plane so well, and a really good eye too as she sees that pitch coming in for 3-2 now.
Trying to help out her starter, Blake Nelliman, who will pitch in the bottom half against what she argues a red-hot NC State lineup that just cashed together 3 runs to win in a walk-off fashion. Awald, a ground ball to short. There's 1. Not in time for 2. Awald reaches on the fielder's choice.
Great hustle there from Awald. You have to think if she's hitting right-handed, that's a double play, but because she's able to hit from the left side, she gets her momentum getting her down the line, and she's able to beat it to extend the Georgia Tech inning.
Very close there at first base.
I think you're going to have to use the old saying, tie goes to the runner on that one. Nothing definitive by any means. But that's a good job by Brooklyn Lucero getting Awald to hit it on the ground.
Crosby Huckabee, the beneficiary of that fielder's choice, hits here with 2 outs. While she was 0 for 2 today, got hit twice. And now looking to kickstart her weekend at the plate. Lucero evens it up at 1-1. So back-to-back games, 2 talented freshmen for NC State working the circle. Estelle Check, who got out of a lot of trouble in that first inning and managed to work 4. Here's Lucero, the fellow freshman, going to work and gives up a bullet to left field. Georgia Tech strikes first on the 2-run shot from Crosby Huckabee.
It's exactly what you want if you're Georgia Tech coming off that loss in the first game of this doubleheader. The hustle by Awald allows Huckabee to hit that 2-run home run. You see right here the pitch from Lucero, middle end, belt high, and Sam Russ gives it the courtesy jog, but Crosby Huckabee with the big fly. And as we talked about, the home runs are plenty here and no stranger here in the first. Georgia Tech strikes first.
Well, my question's been answered at the top of the first inning, whether or not going to be a factor on that fly ball. Fresh slate with 2 outs for Kennedy Cowden. And how about Georgia Tech picking up where they left off in game 1? Hit .500 with 2 outs. They get that fielder's choice and convert it with a 2-run home run.
And Georgia Tech's now plated 9 runs in the first inning of these 3 games. So averaging 3 runs an inning. That's not a bad way to start.
In both games of the series, NC State has come back, scored 7 last night and 8 here in game 1. Brooklyn Lucero with that home run gives up her first runs of her career.
And that's just the inexperience of a freshman. You know, like we talked about with Estelle Check, although she had thrown quite a few pitches before she gave up the home run. But these batters in the ACC, these Power 5 hitters, mistakes aren't just singles that extend innings or even doubles into the gap. Mistakes left over the middle of the plate are deposited for home runs. These are the best athletes from their high schools playing in the ACC. And so you see there why you can't miss middle in on any of these batters.
Working carefully on Kennedy Cowden. There's a strike from Lucero. Kennedy reached base twice in the first 2 innings earlier today. Now trying to extend this first inning against Lucero. There's strike 2, working both sides of the corner. Cowden works the count full and works out a base hit. Back-to-back hits with 2 outs for Georgia Tech.
The Yellow Jackets just continuing to extend innings. You know, you get the first 2 outs, or excuse me, you get the 2 outs, and then you give up the single, then the home run, and then another single. Georgia Tech is just continuously finding a way to put extra batters in. And, you know, it's not something that you see, but later in the ball game, you'll see the leadoff batter get an extra at-bat now.
There's the runner off to second. The tag is perfectly applied, gunning down the runner. Nice job by Sam Sack finding her second baseman. We go to the bottom of the first. NC State's defense on display here in Raleigh. Oh.
Maybe you can bring that up.
No, for sure.
She hits.
Do 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 do. Dad of the Year is ever saying that.
In the pitcher's circle for the Yellow Jackets, freshman from Marietta, Georgia, righty number 9, Blake Nelliman.
Georgia Tech, for the 3rd straight game, strikes in the 1st inning. And the big shot, the 2-run home run by Crosby Huckabee. Getting some run support here for Blake Nelliman, the freshman who comes in for her 2nd outing of this series and now trying to slow down a red-hot NC State attack.
And Nelliman trying to erase the start that she had last night. Very, very difficult time trying to find the strike zone as she walked the first 4 NC State batters in consecutive, and then hit Sam Gress with the for the hit by pitch. So 5 straight NC State Wolfpack players reaching via the free pass. So Nelliman trying to change things up and keep these Yellow Jackets ahead here after 1.
In 22 innings, 38 strikeouts to 13 walks for the freshman. Although you mentioned it, maybe her toughest outing on Friday night. Now she faces Sam Russ, who just pimped a ball in the 7th, 40 minutes ago? And digging in with a red-hot bat at the plate, her average up to 333.
And she can do it through all aspects. As you see there, she tried to lay down the bunt for a base hit. But yeah, you can see it. She can absolutely just tear the ball.
Committed on that swing for strike 2. And it is neat with how both starters last night went so short in the game, Traha and Nelliman. We see them come back the next day, make adjustments. Traha got the win in game 2 today. Now it's Nelliman's turn to see her adjustments.
There's a reason why it's quiet.
This NC State lineup with 3 more home runs today.
Gonna be out that way too.
Now up to 23 on the year, which does lead the ACC and sits right in the top 10 in the country behind Oklahoma, the best power hitting team for Patty Gasso.
And can't even afford to live in the city.
Russ skies one towards center. And making the catch, second baseman, Bailey Zeitler.
I like the range there as Kennedy Cowden was coming in ready to call Zeitler off, but Zeitler holding steady and is able to make the play. Big out there for Nelliman.
A little bit of a defensive mishap in game 2, or the earlier game today. 5 combined errors. I see that settle in as Tati Forbes works ahead. Forbes with these Herculean numbers has climbed her average up to 474 here in her final season. And what's crazy to think, 5 years ago in 2016, she was at Coastal Carolina and as a freshman ranked 5th in the country in batting average.
Well, I would say that's surprising, but it's not because she's the current active leader in Division I in batting average. All she does is find her way on base, slapping from that left side.
Takes strike 1 on the bunt attempt. Forbes, in fact, had 106 hits as a freshman, stepping on campus in Conway and serving up a pretty productive season. That was a super senior. Bloops one to third, just short of Megan Cassidy.
God, that would have been on ESPN's top plays right there if she was able to make that catch.
Given the thrill of game 1 earlier today, I wouldn't be surprised if something sneaks on SportsCenter tonight, as these two are battling it out in the third conference series of the year. And that's a full count to Forbes. Georgia Tech has not gotten the win in Raleigh since 2016. They won 2 of 3 in that series and had a great chance to win today. They'll look to bounce back after an 0-2 start. What makes Tati Forbes such a tough out at the plate?
I think it has a lot to do with her plate discipline, to be honest, Evan. She doesn't chase very often, although her strikeout totals are high for her this year. She only had 7 last year. It's almost at that number this year. But what she does so well is she is able to protect the plate. She's able to keep the barrel, get the barrel through, and just foul pitches off. That's the most frustrating thing for pitchers, when you make a good pitch and a batter is able to just foul it off. And that's where the mistakes happen, and Tatiana Forbes makes them pay on a regular basis.
Right on cue. 3 foul balls with a full count for Forbes. He went 2 for 4 this morning. Drove in a run as well. You almost feel like 4 or 5 hit weekends are on the norm for Tatiana Forbes. Nellerman can't hang on with that pitch, and a walk with 1 out.
Yeah, I'm usually surprised whenever I look at a box score and I only see 1 hit for Tatiana Forbes. Usually it's the 2, 3, 4, or 2 or 3 hits on the weekend and a couple swipe bags.
One gone by for Angie Rizzi, who started 2 for 2 with a home run on Friday. What does she do? Add right to it with a hit and a run scored today. That home run is one of 10 different players for NC State with a big fly this year.
I feel he's more like going to take a nap.
Runner is off for second. And Tatiana Forbes has not been caught on the bases this year. Give her 10 stolen bases.
Well, fun fact about looking at this starting lineup for NC State, every single batter in this lineup has hit a home run at some point in their career. Kelly Lambrick adding her name to this list earlier, or actually last weekend.
I feel like the older I become, naps become
Blake Nellerman in her 7th start has 3 complete games.
my choice.
More impressively, nearly 2 strikeouts per inning in the circle. And she has a tough NC State lineup to attack here today.
I'll catch a nap attack in a heartbeat.
3-1 to Rizzi.
The first base open, Evan. I would not be surprised if this 3-1 offering from Nailman is off the plate. The last thing you want to do after gaining 2 runs is to give those 2 runs back.
There's ball 4, 3rd walk of the day, and the first of this game for Angie Rizzi. There's a quick conversation with her catcher, Emma Koff, who's back in the lineup here for game 3. And now a meeting. Here comes the pitching coach out, along with Kauf, to talk this over. Because they're facing a 1-2 tandem of Logan Morris and Randy Farraker, who have been tough to stop in this series.
They have, and Nailman has obviously struggled a little bit with control. Now 6 walks in only officially 2/3 of an innings pitch. You only got 1 out last night, and she's got 1 out today, already issuing 2 walks. So pitching coach for Georgia Tech out there to try to calm down his freshman, see if we can get something over the plate and try to get an out here.
Coming to the plate, your third baseman, number 10, Logan.
Blake Nellerman was fantastic last year before the season cut short. 9-1 record, 1.45 ERA. And it's crazy to think we're early in March and already 3 conference series in. Georgia Tech can ill afford to drop the first 3 on the weekend. Logan Morris takes strike one.
I liked what the ACC did to start the season, did those bubble scenarios where we'll just talk about where we are. The Triangle, UNC, Duke, and NC State hosted 6 other teams from the ACC that came all into the area and played 3-game series against teams. So they're able to get some conference games in while also maintain a bubble for everyone that was here.
Busy weekend in the conference in terms of scheduling. You see the likes of Duke and North Carolina at the top of the league in the standings. State is right there with them as this ball's driven into the gap. And the Wolfpack strike for a run in the first as here comes Tati Forbes to score. In safely as well is Angie Rizzi. 2-2 on the RBI hit from Logan Morris.
And just like that, as we saw last night, NC State answering with 2 of their own as Logan Morris takes a pitch on the inner half of the plate with an inside-out swing. Hits a double to the fence in right center. She gets 2 RBIs, and just like that, NC State evens things up with Georgia Tech.
Logan Morris with another double, give her 3 on the year and 15 RBI. And some early trouble for Blake Nelliman, the freshman, trying to escape this jam as she sizes up the hottest hitter in this lineup, Randy Farricker. Randy has the distinct honor of the first player with multiple home runs in a single game. Blasted a huge shot in the 7th, added the home run in the 2nd as well.
Both of which were no doubters.
This ball sneaks away from Kauf. Runner at third with 1 out.
You know, obviously I can't speak for Kauf and Nelliman, but if you're looking at this camera view that we're seeing right now, there's light and then there's shadow right as the ball crosses home plate. So if there is any, if there's a pitch that gets away from the catcher's eyesight, it could very easily scamper away for, a wild pitch or a pass ball, and that's what we saw there.
Quick outing for Nelliman leads to a call to the bullpen, and Georgia Tech with a new arm coming up. When we come back, we will talk more about Lexi Ray here in this first inning.
Your attention, please. Taking the pitcher circle now for the Yellow Jackets. Sophomore from Louisville, Kentucky, number 20, Lexi Ray.
She's really struggling, Nelliman.
Baby.
Mid-at-bat pitching change.
A mid-at-bat pitching change here for Georgia Tech as Lexi Ray, the Louisville, Kentucky sophomore, comes in to throw in a tight spot here. NC State already 2 runs in, a runner at third. For Ray, her last outing, ending at third scoreless against Georgia. Now she has to face some power bats in this NC State lineup.
And coming in mid-at-bat against Randy Farricker, as you mentioned, probably the hottest bat in this NC State lineup.
After the first pitch, she goes. Runner heads, stays at third. Everyone's safe. Ball booted around. And the woes continue for Georgia Tech.
And that was a cue shot by Randy Farricker. How she got even the end of the bat on that ball, I don't know. But you saw the spin. That thing was just completely in revolution from side to side. Very difficult for Jen Soleo to even make that play.
That's a rare mistake for the freshman shortstop. And now Sam Sack at the bottom 4th of the lineup. Here's a throw to second. Out at second base. Run scores. And coming in to give NC State the lead is Logan Morris. Seen that Little League play twice today, and it's worked both times.
Yeah, NC State able to get runs across, as you mentioned, both times now. First time was with Sam Sack, who we see here at the plate right now. She got into a rundown, and Angie Rizzi was able to come around and score.
Clean slate for Lexi Ray. And it's 1-1. Lexi's season long is 5 innings in her debut against Radford, got a complete game win. And I always find it neat when former coaches face their old squads. Eileen Morales, who spent 5 years in the Big South at Radford, they swept that series and started the year 5-0. They unfortunately have not won since, but they get out of this first inning. We go to the second. NC State up by 1.
No hit, 2 walks, no errors, no one walked home. We're through 1. It's the Pack 3 and the Jackets 2.
The old 3 runs on 1 hit's tough.
Yeah.
Hard to win that one.
I don't understand. I mean, obviously I don't understand, but Nelman really struggled.
Yeah, she did. Part.
6, 7, 8 coming up for the Jackets.
If I could walk 500 miles, I probably still have time to watch the rest of this game. Do, 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 It's those parents who watch the 6 softball games that day that are real troopers. They do those tournament style.
Notre Dame beat Florida State in basketball.
It's a picture-perfect night here in Raleigh at Dale Softball Stadium. NC State, 3 runs on 1 hit. The big shot is the Logan Morris double. The Wolfpack are up 1 as we head to the second. As Brandon, we get our second look at the freshman arm, Brooklyn Lucero, who did give up the home run with 2 outs, but now has a lead for the first time today.
Lucero going to try to get throw up a 0 here for NC State. Runs have been plenty in the first inning so far for these first 3 games.
9 combined runs for Georgia Tech. That's not been the issue, jumping out early. The concern has been closing out games, and we saw just an hour ago. Now Maddie McPherson gave up 3 runs in the 7th, dropping the Yellow Jackets to 0-8 in the league. And McCouf takes strike 1. Another big bat in this lineup. Already 5 doubles, second on the team. She did not play in game 2, so her first at-bat of this day. After going hitless last night. Lucero facing a dangerous threat right as those shadows could play a factor. And the rise ball's popped up. There's Sam Gress. Whoop, nope. Did she drop it, however? Not on the transfer. That's a true drop. And an error for the shortstop. Am I missing something there, Brantley?
I don't think you are. She just flat out dropped the ball. I mean, there was no transfer. And, you know, the defensive struggles for NC State are continuing as they have an error early in this ball game. It looks like the shortstop Gress just flat out took her eye off of it.
The baby was born?
Instead, a runner on with nobody out for Bailey Zeitler. So Lucero now has to face some trouble in this second inning. One thing I've noticed, she hasn't gotten ahead a lot of hitters today, but that's been the case for both these pitching staffs, having to work from behind a bunch.
Yeah, the first pitch is the most important of an at bat. It changes the dynamic whether you're behind 0-1 or 1-0. I mean, it just completely changes how you pitch to a batter. Because if you're ahead, you can kind of toy with the batter, so to speak. You can try to fish off the plate, see if you can get a swing and a miss or something weakly hit. But behind in the count, you got to kind of come back over the middle of the plate.
Brooklyn falls behind 3-0 to Bailey Zeitler. Winning is in her DNA as a senior. 0.68 ERA, 16-2 record. The lights are shining bright here in ACC conference play. There's strike one. What can Lucero pick up on what her fellow pitchers, and it's been the entire staff this weekend, Brantley, have shown her from that side of the ball approaching Georgia Tech's offense?
First things first, if you're going to miss, don't miss in the middle of the plate. When NC State has missed in the middle, they have had issues.
Gress with a long throw, makes a beauty. Now back pick to second, and safe there is Emma Kauf, 1 out.
And Gress showing you why she's over at shortstop, which just makes that drop at the second base bag that much more perplexing, because you see that right there. She shows her range and shows how strong her arm is and beats Zeitler with her throw. And then just the unexpected drop, prior to that on Emma Kauf.
I wasn't even behind the camera. I was trying to figure
Joe Soleo fakes the bunt and takes strike one. Joe went 1 for 4 with an RBI, big double in the fourth, bumping her average up to 244.
I haven't even been able to figure out how to change it, so. Okay. Gotcha. Oh, no, I didn't.
Soleo's throw has been on the bases, 6 for 6 in steals.
All this as a freshman, too, Evan. I mean, I've only seen, Jen Soleo for 2+ games now. But I really like the freshman shortstop for Georgia Tech. She's going to be trouble for a long time down in Atlanta.
That ball hits her, 2 on with 1 out. And it's funny how quickly this game can give both teams opportunities. Georgia Tech scores 2, State comes right back, brings up 3, and here come the Yellow Jackets again in the second.
And it looks like we're going to see a pitching change here, Evan.
We're going to take a break. NC State going to the pen here in the second. It's hard to get outs today, that's for sure.
It has been a struggle.
It's harder to get outs or toilet paper last March. I don't know.
Whoa.
It wasn't saying like how bad Walmarts were, when you show up and the whole shelf is, and they're limiting you to 1 per. Oh.
1 per person.
Well, that's finally over. People have calmed down. It's not an earthquake. Here in the second, Sydney Nestor looking to pick up where she left off on Friday night, 6 2/3, just 1 run allowed, closing things out for the Game 1 win. Entering in a similar spot here in the second. How can Nestor settle things down for this NC State pitching staff?
Or if there's anyone for NC State that can do it, it is Sydney Nestor. The right-hander from Hillsville, Virginia, just a calming presence in the circle. She can hit her spots in and out, low and high. She's got an off-speed pitch to go along with a quality fastball. ERA just a shade over 1. And, she gets the relief appearance victory in Game 1 last night after coming in throwing 6 2/3 of quality ball for NC State, and she's going to be tasked with doing it again here.
Here's a bunt attempt on the first pitch. That is a beauty. Everyone's safe as the speed of Megan Cassidy loads the bases.
Infield single from Cassidy.
Give Georgia Tech some credit. You just dropped the game in walk-off fashion 45 minutes ago, and they have come back and responded in the first, now loading the bases in the second.
I love the resilience of these Yellow Jackets. I really, really do. They've had a tough go of it here in Raleigh, a tough go of it since starting ACC play, but they have not backed down. You would think that after NC State got those 3 runs that you would see Georgia Tech kind of, mail it in, so to speak, but that's not the case. They've got the bases loaded here again.
And at the top of the lineup, Brianna Roper working with a 1-0 count. Roper with the bases loaded, hitting .333 this year, has 3 hits in those spots. Let's see if Sydney Nestor can escape this little pickle.
I'm curious to see how effective Nestor is. She threw almost 145 pitches last night. Didn't think we would get the opportunity to see her again today, but I would have thought tomorrow for sure, but having to bring Estelle Check in the first game, Sam Gress struggling a little bit, Brooklyn Lucero struggling here, and Abby Traha throwing some innings late in the last game.
Runner at third comes to the plate, and the wild pitch results in a run to tie it at 3. That's Emma Kauf to score, and now second and third. Eileen Morales' club has shown some major grit today.
And the shadows really playing a hard part for Sydney Nestor to see the signal from her pitching coach, Chelsea Wilkinson. But of course, we've seen a lot of runs early in this ballgame. Why change the narrative of this weekend?
On 3-1, Nestor catches the corner. And there's one thing to be said about Eileen as a player. This team won 3 ACC conference titles, 4 trips to the tournament. There was a lot of success from 05 to 08 as a player. Now she's trying to bring that back as the full-time head coach here in year 4. This ground ball will score a run, and everyone's safe.
That's a freshman mistake there by Kaylee Lambrick over there at second. You take the sure out with Brianna Roper. You sacrifice the run. Your team has consistently put up multiple runs throughout the day or throughout this weekend. They're a high-powered offense. You take the out, you sacrifice the run, let it go through. But now you've got runners at the corners with Cameron Stanford, who hit a mammoth home run in the first game.
Especially with the speed of Celaya with third there. That's what makes that decision a little befuddling.
But it's a teaching moment for the freshmen, and Coach Patrick will be sure to be talking to her freshman second baseman when the opportunity presents itself.
Bit of a late swing there from Cameron Stanford, who singled in the first. She now has 4 hits on the day and a busy 6 hits in this series. Sydney Nestor, who was fantastic last night, really closed things out after Abby Traha had trouble getting just 1 out. She wrapped up the rest of the game, and you do wonder if that's the task at hand with Game 4 coming up tomorrow.
Well, I'd have to imagine if we're seeing Sydney Nestor today, very little chance we'll see her tomorrow. You could see a combination of Traha, Gress, and Lucero. I wouldn't think you would see Estelle Check again, only because she threw a career high in pitches today. You want to make sure that your freshman gets some work done on her arm so she can be around for the rest of this long season.
Still just one out here in the second. And a line drive towards their own dugout. Little friendly fire there from Stanford.
You know, Coach Morales has really had to be on her toes over there today at third. But she would gladly take that, as she has to be happy with the way her offense has been in these first 2 games. And here now, you know, an inning plus in today, 4 more runs.
On 1 and 2, the count works even. Even the number of pitches we've seen in this series has drastically climbed up. Both offenses that have the power also have shown the patience today.
They have. They've, you know, they find themselves in 2 strike counts. They foul off a few before the end result happens, whether it's a base hit or an out.
Might be deep enough to tag. There's the catch. Run in. Make it 5-3. Georgia Tech as they cash in Cassidy.
Sac fly for Stanford. 2 outs in the inning now for the first baseman, number 22, Trisha Ewald.
Something about a leadoff error that always comes back to bite you in an inning like this. And all of a sudden, 3 runs in.
And the unofficial error, even though it doesn't go down as an error, the play from the second baseman for NC State trying to go home rather than taking the sure out. Had she taken that out, that fly out to center ends the inning, and we're looking at a 4-3 Georgia Tech lead rather than a 5-3 lead, with an opportunity to get more with Trisha Ewald.
There's ball 2. When Ewald faced Nestor yesterday, she went 1 for 2 with a couple RBI. Now Sydney Nestor is trying to slow down a Georgia Tech offense that has come to play here in Game 3 of this series. All those pitches pretty close.
They are. Nestor being very careful with Trisha Ewald. She doesn't want this inning to get away from her completely. Although Crosby Huckabee on deck is no slouch herself, you'd kind of take your chances with Huckabee rather than Ewald because of the power that this first baseman possesses.
4-pitch walk extends this inning. Second time Ewald's reached. And this sets the stage for the power hitting threat from last inning, Crosby Huckabee. Which we talk about the all foul ball team. Crosby Huckabee is the all ACC name team.
That's a quality name.
It
really is. It's a quality name.
Crosby their 3rd home run of the year back in the first inning, and rips one foul.
Heard you say that all too many times today, Evan. They just absolutely ripping them today.
If I had $1 for every time, I wouldn't have any parking tickets in my life, that's for sure.
And some dollars to spare for when you get a few more.
Nonetheless, Sydney Nestor has 27 career wins, puts her in the top 10 in program history. Has her work cut out for her here in the second. So I understand Georgia Tech has power in this lineup, and we've seen it up and down the order, but what has made them so difficult, point blank, just to get out?
I think they emulate their coach. You know, you mentioned she was, you know, a former all everything at Georgia Tech, and these batters just have quality at bats time after time after time. They see pitches they don't chase very often. Whenever there's a strikeout occurs, because they just miss the pitch, not because they go down looking. Coach Morales has really brought this hitting velocity to Georgia Tech, and you can see here these 1 through 9 are just tough outs.
There's strike 2 to Huckabee.
There's no panic, though, when these Georgia Tech batters get to 2 strikes. That's the biggest thing that I've noticed, you know, watching the Yellow Jackets in these, you know, first couple games of this series. There's no panic. They stay calm, they stay relaxed, and that's why you see them extend innings like we did in the first game today with 2 outs.
Oh, Nestor gets the knee of Huckabee. And the bases are loaded. Oh, it was just a brutal hit by pitch. That's going to hurt in the morning.
Hurt in the morning. That one's hurting now. Right off the kneecap. Oh, I can't imagine how that one felt.
Oh, right off that right knee, and here comes the athletic training staff to.
Well, I would venture a guess looking at that replay. I think she may have actually got the left knee grazed first and then squared up that right knee. Looking at the replay, I could be wrong, but
No, I mean,
from the angle that we just saw, I thought for perhaps a second both of her knees got hit.
That's a lot of bone that Huckabee got hit with that softball, and you can tell the pain she's in.
So here it is right here. Can't tell. I mean, you really can't. You know the back knee. You know the right knee got squared up, but I don't know. Nah, I think it missed the front.
Oh, but that's a straight shot. On the
Yeah.
knee, too. That's very painful.
That's worse that it didn't catch the front because it, like you said, just right there on the kneecap.
We certainly hope Crosby's all right. And Chattanooga, Tennessee, taking a shot to her knee.
But these Georgia Tech players, they're tough. They've shown it throughout the day. So I expect Crosby Huckabee to, what's the old term, rub some dirt on it, get on down to first base at some point. But like you said, the Georgia Tech athletic training staff out there to make sure that the right fielder is going to be okay.
Georgia Tech trying to earn a first conference win, and you'd imagine that Crosby's going to come out of this game. With Eileen Morales going through her depth chart for possible changes here.
Somebody get a couple of guys get people out there.
With Eileen Morales, it's worth noting, she's the all-time leader in games played, wins as a player, truly just a productive Georgia Tech Yellow Jacket, and that's why she was named to the Hall of Fame this past year. And unfortunately, Crosby Huckabee is going to come out of this game. Hope her knee is all right, and she took a shot right to it.
Yeah, obviously you're hoping for the best for Huckabee. Maybe it's just hopefully it's just a stinger, something with the cooler temperatures. But as you mentioned, Evan, it did hit her square on that back right kneecap, and it's good to see her walking off on her own and not having to be helped off, even though she is walking very gingerly. It's just nice to see her walking off under her own power.
So the bases are loaded here for Georgia Tech. And this long delay for Sydney Nestor, she's got to settle in after getting it out in the first. Now a lot of work to do in the second, and here's Bianca Mora to come in to run. She was the catcher this past game. Well, all of a sudden, 5 runs. There's still just 2 outs in this inning, and it certainly feels like, and we've mentioned it all day, Georgia Tech waiting to get that first win, waiting to get some momentum. It's right here for the taking.
It is. I mean, 2 outs. That's Georgia Tech's comfort zone when they're hitting. They have done most of their damage with runners on base with 2 outs. So this is right in their warehouse. They have an opportunity now to blow this game wide open.
To your point, Georgia Tech 2 for 2 today with 2 outs. Only reason the end of the inning was a runner caught stealing. Otherwise, they've been tough to retire. And this is Kennedy Cowden, the 9th hitter to come to the plate. Nestor locates a fastball well. This should do it. Oop, not an easy catch, but Gress makes it. We go to the bottom of the second. NC State with some questions to be answered when we come back.
3 left on. Head to the bottom of the second. It's the Jackets 5 and the Wolfpack 3.
I got it. No, you got it. Wait, I got it.
Oh, if that had fallen in.
I'm going to do that next time I try to order food with my buddies. I'll be like, no, you got it, right? No, I got it. No, you got it. Oh, no, I think I got it. No, it's on you. You got Papa John's this time. I got it next time. Oh, man.
Of course. Because why not?
It's just, and maybe because she dropped the other one, she was thinking about it, but.
Well, she came in confident, screaming, mine, 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 mine. But you saw that as they came off, Patrick grabbed Kaylee.
Wolfpack offense. Lexi Ray back to work for her second inning.
And we talk about as potent as the Georgia Tech offense has been. NC State's offensive has just been arguably better. Obviously, the winners of the first two games, the walk-off home run in the game one of today's doubleheader, these are just two high-powered offenses, just slugging it out.
Already 3 home runs today for NC State. Give them 22 on the year. And this swing will definitely stay in the park. There's out number 1. Okay, Brantley, here's the question. What can Georgia Tech do? Because neither team's had a real shutdown inning in this series for the true honesty here. So how can Lexi Ray come out, attack the zone, and get herself some outs?
At this point, losers of 12 straight, there's no blueprint to really go off of here. Someone from Georgia Tech is going to have to step up to keep them ahead in this ballgame, and it's Lexi Ray's opportunity to do that. She's a good arm for Georgia Tech. She's seen some time in the circle, but at this point, Coach Morales is just looking for somebody, in their circle to be able to keep them ahead and throw up zeros and let this powerful offense extend their lead.
There's ball 2. Ray, who's been in multiple roles for this club, pitched 4 to third against Clemson in the start. The team was in position to win that game, but dropped it by 1. One of 3 one-run losses for the Yellow Jackets. She falls behind 3-0 to Sam Gress. We sort of thought, Brantley, after game 1 of today, game 2 of the series, that the emotion of that walk-off home run would have lifted State, and it's been the Yellow Jackets throwing the punches in response.
It has, and that's an example of the toughness from this coaching staff. They're not going to let their athletes give up. It's very easy to give up after the way that first game of today's doubleheader ended. I can tell you from personal experience, it's been difficult to battle back from that, but the fact that they are out in front once again, they've led at some point all 3 games this weekend, so now it's just the opportunity for these Yellow Jackets to find a way and stay ahead.
State has come back in all 3 games of the series. Ray on 3-2. Even outs have been tough to come by in this weekend set. The 2 top power hitting teams in the ACC. Hasn't been the best weekend for fielding per se, but we've seen plenty good at-bats. And another 3-2 coming up to Sam Gress.
It hasn't, but you talking about the defensive mistakes for both of these teams. But what has been fun to watch is just the back and forth between these two. One gets down, the other one comes back, and it just the fireworks display from both of them.
Ground ball. Nice snag at third. Play is made. Megan Cassidy.
Hard hit ball from Sam Gress. And Cassidy lays out. Has to pop up quick because Sam Gress hustling down the line, but she makes that throw to Awald. And, you know, maybe this is the moment for Georgia Tech where something happens that goes their way that will springboard, you know, for the rest of this ball game.
It's been a long time coming for that first conference win for Georgia Tech. Started the year 5-0. And who's going to pick up that softball is the real question.
I was going to say, it's no kids here to grab them this year, at least to this point.
One and one to Kaylee Lambrecht. Lexi Ray, one of 7 different pitchers that Eileen Morales has used this year for Georgia Tech. And doing a nice job here in the second inning. Her 9th appearance and just over 15 innings of work. And after Nelman could knock it out of the second, or knock it out of the first, I should say, here's a critical moment for Lexi Ray. Saleo. Good throw to first. Quick inning for Lexi Ray in the second.
1, 2, 3 inning was routine. Score remains the Jackets 5 and the Wolfpack 3. Your safety and the safety of those around you, please be sure to wear your face covering, properly cover your nose and mouth at all times, and maintain proper social distancing between parties for the duration of today's game. We have hand sanitizing stations there located throughout the concourse for your convenience. We thank you for helping us protect the pack. We also have emergency first aid services available today. They're provided by UNC Rex Healthcare. Require assistance, just notify the nearest event staff member. Proceed to the Rex Healthcare table located on the concourse. Six, 7, 8 coming up for the Jackets. Top of the third.
The sun is setting on what's been a busy afternoon for softball here in Raleigh at Dale Softball Stadium. Along with Brantley Hatcher, Jeff Budrovich with you for Game 3 of this series. And Sydney Nestor trying to slow down this red-hot Georgia Tech offense. Already 5 runs on 4 hits. This is Emma Kauf to lead things off as she takes ball 1.
So Evan Kauf actually ends up moving to right field, and Mora, who came in to pinch run for Crosby Huckabee after the hit by pitch, is now behind the plate for Georgia Tech. So Kauf in right field, showing her versatility now.
Not only defensively, but at the plate, where she's already hitting .330 this year with 5 doubles. What I always find most impressive about hitters is more walks than strikeouts, especially with some of the bigger swings these lineups will try to take to hit the big fly.
Yeah, you're right. You know, with the home run, obviously the strikeout tends to be more prevalent because you're swinging out of your shoes on a consistent basis. But when you can find a player that has that happy medium with power and putting barrel to the ball, it's a nice compliment. It's very rare that you see somebody hit for average and power with strikeout totals that are low.
Emma Kauff has been very versatile in her career. 16 starts at catcher, 2 at third base, 2 in left field, and a couple games in right field as well. Sydney Nestor could care less about her versatility. She needs some outs in the third and gets ahead 1-2. I do enjoy anytime you talk to a student athlete and explain to them, hey, did you break this record or do this? Or if you're Sydney Nestor, climb into the top 5 in career strikeouts, and they go, I didn't know that. It's kind of interesting, you know, just kind of quizzing them along the way throughout their careers.
Well, that just shows that they don't care about the stats. They want victories. They want to continue winning. If they end up being somebody that's up there in the annuals of the record book, then so be it.
Double on for Sydney Nestor. Brings up the second baseman, number 2, Bailey Zeitler.
First strikeout for Nestor right here, climbing the ladder, as she nears 250 punch-outs in her NC State career.
And only a sophomore.
You mentioned wins. She's got 27 of them, which is now 7th in career victories. The challenge today has been slowing down this Georgia Tech offense. This is Bailey Zeitler. I told you the 2 top home run hitting teams in this conference. And already a home run in these first 2 innings for Georgia Tech as there's strike 1. Of course, our game earlier today ended on a walk-off home run by Sam Russ in the 7th. That game earlier was the type of ball game where you kind of figured there was going to be some drama at the end. Now, maybe not extra inning drama.
Yeah, but late inning drama for sure, and it was just a slugfest. I mean, one team would go up, another team would come back. Georgia Tech would grab a couple more runs, then NC State would grab a couple. You knew something was going to happen late in that ball game. Now, could you have pictured it being the walk-off solo home run after, you know, an ill-timed defensive mistake? No, you couldn't. You can't predict stuff like that. But it took something like that to happen to allow Sam Russ that opportunity.
Sydney Nestor pounds in strike 2 as she tries to repeat Friday night's success, going 6 2/3, finishing out the game in a 7-4 win for NC State. As Bailey Zeitler awaits the 2-2. Chasing out of the zone, back-to-back punch-outs.
That's back-to-back Ks for
And that's what you
Sydney
get
Nestor.
when Sydney Nestor is in the circle. She works in and out, and then she
Batting
exploits
shortstop, number 7, Jen
the
Soler.
aggressive bat of Zeitler on that outer half of the plate. Gets a second strikeout of the inning.
If Nestor can get rolling for this pitching staff, I think that'd be a great sign for State. They need some consistent innings this weekend. 10 punch-outs, in fact, now for Nestor in her 2 outings this week. Jill Solea was hit by a pitch and catapulted that 3-run inning for Georgia Tech in the 2nd. Solea has just 1 hit on this series, trying to extend the 3rd inning. Good patience that time. Sydney was one of only 2 pitchers in the conference a couple of years ago to earn 10 wins in the league. Coming off a win last night. Here she works in the 3rd, trying for a 1-2-3. She'll wait 1 more pitch. you notice the 2 7s on Soleil's eye black there? I really appreciate that. Sporting her number. Grass bobbles, and the inning continues.
And Sam Grass really having a tough time here at shortstop this game. The drop fly ball in the second inning resulted in 3 runs. And once again, Georgia Tech, something cooking here with, you guessed it, 2 outs.
Salmon only had 1 error coming into this weekend. Looked very good at both shortstop and obviously as a pitcher fielding her own spot. Here she has a couple of mistakes today, setting the stage for Megan Cassidy.
Nestor trying to pick up her shortstop right now and get that 4th out of the inning after the error. But, you know, this is what, you know, even though Sydney Nestor is a sophomore, you would consider her an upperclassman. She's been here for 3 years now for NC State. So this is a job for Sydney Nestor to turn around, look at her shortstop and say, hey, I got you. We're going to get this out here. We're going to get back into the dugout. No harm, no foul.
That ball's ripped off the bat of Cassidy, as this has been the greatest strength of Georgia Tech today, hitting with 2 outs and extending innings. Now combined in these last 2 games, 9 2-out hits. It may not show for it in the record and the wins, things of that nature, but this offense is pretty versatile.
And that's the unfortunate aspect for Coach Morales and these Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. They're trying their best. You know, they're doing everything they can. They're fighting with 2 outs, getting runs on 2 outs. That, you know, it's one thing to get 2-out base hits, but it's another thing to get 2-out runs. And Georgia Tech's been able to do that, and it's just unfortunate for them that they've lost both of these games because they've been there, they've had the opportunities, they just haven't been able to close it out.
Nestor on 0-2. They'll face another good battle for Megan Cassidy. Megan just 6 at-bats coming into this game. Taking on the veteran, as you mentioned, in the circle. Top 10 in strikeouts per inning. And total strikeouts. Here's a throw to second. Good tag applied. Kaylee Lambrecht's been busy over there at second base. We head to the bottom of the 3rd.
Into the bottom of the 3rd score. Yellow Jackets 5 and the Wolfpack 3.
So, I mean, if you want to get technical, both teams in the 3rd inning had 3 up, 3 down. Well, that's right, though. I mean, that was quick innings by today's
This is a
standard.
weird weekend. I've worked a lot of softball, different schools, different places. I just haven't seen so many teams have trouble getting outs.
Yeah.
And just consistently. Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. I didn't think we could beat the length of yesterday's game, but game 1 today said, hold my beer. Yeah, it said, hold my beer. We're going to see both teams scraping the bottom of the barrel tomorrow for pitching. I was hoping to go to the gym after this, but I don't think I'm going to be able to now.
Leading off. Bottom of the 3rd, your left fielder number 3, Sam Russ.
Georgia Tech leading by 2 as we roll into the bottom of the 3rd. Yellow Jackets searching for their first win here in Raleigh in 3 years now, since 2018. Sam Russ in the top of the order to lead things off for the Wolfpack. She hit a moonshot to the second baseman her last time up after hitting a missile that went 245 feet to end game 1, according to TrackMan.
I think that's an accurate distance. She barreled that one up probably the best we've seen from Sam Russ.
Lexi Ray pounds in strike one. Russ has been a consistent leadoff threat and for NC State, especially this year as a third-year junior. There's strike two. Over the last 3 years, she's now reached base 45% of the time. This is her down year with a .420 on base percentage.
Just knowing that Sam Russ is going to be on base nearly every other at bat has got to be such a calming factor for Jennifer Patrick Swift and this NC State coaching staff.
That was nearly strike three. Good frame by Huckabee behind the plate. Or my apologies for Mora behind the plate with replacing Huckabee. That's right. Crosby unfortunately got hit by that pitch on the knee, and we hope for the best for Crosby, who was taken out. Here's a line drive, another base hit for Russ. She'll hold it first on the leadoff single.
That's a leadoff single for Sam.
That's a good job there by Kennedy Cowden, able to cut that off and hold Sam Russ to a single. It's hard to do anytime Sam Russ finds a way to get it to the outfield. She's always a threat to try to stretch that single into a double.
This sets the stage for Tati Forbes.
Yeah, but don't be surprised if Sam Russ isn't off and running here in this at-bat with Forbes.
That hit gives her a 5-game hitting streak. You do wonder for NC State. There are a couple games left in this series, but with Virginia Tech coming up next, at Virginia, at Notre Dame, is there a chance for this team to make a run before they take on the heavy hitters in the conference in April? There's Russ with a stolen base.
And there's definitely an opportunity for NC State if they're able to keep the momentum going here and try to take this series with Georgia Tech. You know, Virginia Tech, they're no slouch, but as you mentioned, there's opportunities for NC State to get some quality wins before they see those big hitters. You know, like you mentioned, they finished the season at Clemson, at Florida State, and home to Duke.
Those are three
tough.
of the best in the league. I mean, you talk about a rigorous schedule for Coach Jen Patrick.
Oh, that's a brutal last 12 games of your season.
Tati Forbes lays off. It's 2-2. What does Georgia Tech have cooking coming up? They'll play, quote unquote, the lower half of the league. Pitt, Notre Dame next, with Syracuse mixed in there. They've gotten the heavy hitters out of the way early in the year. Forbes right back to the pitcher. There's Lexi Ray making a diamond play.
And a heads-up play there by Lexi Ray. She looked Sam Russ back. Had she decided just to go straight to first base there, Sam Russ could have easily moved over to third, but by freezing the runner, getting all the momentum just stagnant, the only thing that Sam Russ could do was go back to second. So she freezes Russ, throws to first to get Forbes, and that's a great heads-up defensive play by Lexi Ray.
Big swing from Angie Rizzi. So Rizzi has walked now 4 times today. Hasn't seen the hit production in the past, but her average is now bumped up to 441.
How about those first 5 for NC State? All well over.
Runner off for third. Russ is in there safely. 2 stolen bases today for Russ. Now has 10 of 11 for the year.
I like the call there by Patrick Swift over at third base. You got a right-handed batter in there, so the catcher's going to have to receive the ball, go behind the runner, and make that throw. By Rizzi squaring around for bunt there, it draws the third baseman in, so it's a foot race between Saleo and Russ.
1-2 on Rizzi's big hack.
And although Saleo is fast, I think NC State will take their speedster, Sam Russ, 10 times out of 10.
Lexi Ray trying to preserve a 2-run lead here in the third. So we mentioned Rizzi with that insane batting average of .441. She is now top 10 in the country. The leader with qualified at-bats is Jamison Cavill from Duke and Deja Davis. Those two are hitting over .520 each.
I watched Duke earlier in the season when they were down at LSU playing a game, and that Deja Davis, she is a absolute stud for those Blue Devils. She is obviously well deserving of the preseason accolades that she had, but she's going to be a tough out anytime versus any pitcher.
There's a walk to Rizzi, and runners are the corners for NC State.
I wonder if Angie Rizzi could get to double-digit walks in a weekend, because I think that's her 6th walk of the weekend now. It's either 5 or 6. See, she had 1 on Friday.
Okay, so 2 in this game, 2 more. Yep, she'll be at 5 already. So,
and
there.
with the way these two teams are playing, she's gonna get at least 5 more bats this weekend.
Remember, tomorrow we wrap things up with game 4 of the series. That's taken for a strike. Easy stolen base for Rizzi.
Do you think that sacrifice or that bunt that Logan Morris squared around for, do you think anyone in the ballpark believes she was actually going to be bunting?
Hey, you know what matters is those runners are moving up. Now can Morris cash him in.
Like, Angie Rizzi does not need help in stealing a bag, which is ultimately what you're trying to do by squaring around a bunt to, block the vision of the catcher. She's perfect on the season, but
those 2 runners are a combined 24 of 25. There's a line drive, base hit. Here comes the second run around third. And Rizzi's speed scores, tying this game at 5.
That's a 2 RBI single for
and the slugfest
Morris.
continues, Evan. That's all you can say when you talk about these two teams this weekend. It's just an absolute slugfest. Georgia Tech gets up early. They got 5. Then NC State comes back. They got 5 now. And Logan Morris has been at the forefront of it. She's got 4 of the 5 RBIs.
Give her 14 on the year. And with 1 out after the first pitch is Randy Farricker, knocking that out of play. Randy reached on an error her last time up. It does make you wonder how this series has gone, especially today. Is 8 or 9 runs enough?
Could be the first to 10, honestly, with the way these two offenses are swinging. They're just
because it was
both of them.
8-7 a moment ago, obviously 7-4 last night. And here we are barely in the third. 5 apiece. These two teams are offensive minded. That's been on display here in Raleigh. Top 2 home run hitting teams have pounded out some hits. It's 1 and 2 now. Lexi Ray trying to piece her way through after Blake Nelman could not get out of the first. Not that any pitchers had an easy go of it today. Lexi gives up a deep drive to center. Back at the wall, and the catch. Kennedy Cowden saves extra bases.
Farricker really seeing the ball well today. She has 2 home runs in the first game. Drives Cowden all the way to the warning track, just a few feet short of her 3rd home run of the day. As it stands, a long out. That's all it amounts to be, and that's what Georgia Tech needs to, that's what Lexi Ray needs to tell herself in the circle. All that is a long out.
Outs have been tough to come by for these pitchers tonight. And with 2 outs. Sam Sack looks to extend the inning. State catcher, one of 5 hitters hitting .290 or better in this order. Their average has actually dropped to .280 today with a rough start in game 1. You don't see too often the perfect donut box score. 2 walks and 2 hit by pitches in game 1.
It's just a good eye there. That's all you can really say about it. She goes home, talks to her mom and dad, say, well, how'd you do today? I got on 4 times, but I didn't have an official at bat. Hit twice, walked twice.
Speaking of donuts, I'm going with the glazed buttermilk.
Ooh.
Kind of the fluffy donut that has the crust that folds in on itself.
I'm the classic chocolate glazed. Just the classic. All I know is when I drive by and I see the hot and ready, you just got to stop.
Make it 2-0 to Sack. I tell you, these teams are hungry for wins. Georgia Tech has dropped 12 straight. NC State wants to move to 7-2 in the league and keep up with the likes of Clemson and Duke, who lead the ACC at the moment. It's also unique without the midweek games this year, the emphasis on not only winning series, because typically in the past, well, we win first 2, we're set for this 3rd game. You got to come back tomorrow and try to close this thing out and take all 4, or if you're Georgia Tech, a chance to split. Line drive, caught. There you go. Head of the 4th, all squared at 5 here in game 3.
2 hits, 1 walk, no errors, 1 left on. We're through 3 and we're tied at 5. Two due up for the Yellow Jackets, top of the 4th.
You appreciate this.
Do-do-do-do-do. Oh.
The caption, Joe Dirt with the breaking ball from hell. That's filthy.
Do-do-do-do.
So Russ is 4 away now from tying the record.
Oh, right. Yeah, let's see.
He's got 82 now.
Number 28, Visser.
Shauna Smith. I still know how to pronounce it.
Thanks, Sean.
Sounds right. You would have guessed it, tie ball game here in the 4th. These 2 teams trading punches all day long. After a walk-off win in game 2 for NC State, here we are in game 3. Sydney Nestor has been up and down in her outing, getting in 2/3, 1 run. Now her team has squared it up with a couple of runs in the 3rd. She will face 9-1-2 in the Georgia Tech lineup with Megan Cassidy to get things started. This is, in fact, one of the few conference series going on this weekend. There's Clemson and Virginia joining the crew. The Virginia Tech BC series postponed with some rain up in Blacksburg, so not a lot going on in the conference. Good breaking ball for strike 2.
I like how she just pulls the string out from underneath that off-speed pitch right there. It looks like it's coming in, and it just falls off the table. It's a quality off-speed pitch there from Sydney Nestor.
Nestor on 0-2. Trying to make quick work of the patient Megan Cassidy.
I'd have to go back and look, but I'd be remiss if I said I don't think that either team has had a good morning, good afternoon, and good night pitching sequence. 3 strikes and a strikeout. They've all been quality at bats.
That's what happens when you put 2 power hitting teams against each other. In the morning, we had Georgia Tech score 3 runs in the first. Gosh, at 1 o'clock feels like yesterday. And then NC State came back to win at 8-7. Same story today, or I guess tonight. I'm losing track of the days here. In Game 3.
It's been a long day here at Dale Softball Stadium, but it's been an exciting day.
No doubt.
Punch after punch after punch from each team. Just a good old-fashioned slugfest here in Raleigh.
I will take high-quality offense any day. Although if you're the coaches, Eileen Morales and Jennifer Patrick Swift, you want to see some more pitching as well. The count is full to Cassidy.
Yeah, neither team can be too happy with what has gone on in the circle so far. There's been some bright spots, no doubt about it, but both teams have really struggled in getting outs, as you mentioned, earlier. Outs have been tough to come by.
Now the payoff pitch is popped out of play. Megan Cassidy singled and scored in the second. Trying to kickstart the offense here in the fourth. Swing and a miss. Sydney Nestor with her 3rd strikeout.
That's the 3rd K of the day. Sydney. We head back to the top of the order now.
3-2, going with the off-speed on the inner half of the plate. Looks like a screwball. And just gets underneath the hands of Cassidy, and that's a big strikeout for Sydney Nestor.
Give her 11 strikeouts in the series. And pounds a strike to the top of the order, and Brianna Roper.
You don't, for Sydney Nestor, you don't want the 9-hole hitter to find their way on base, especially via a walk. So the strikeout is big, especially with Brianna Roper. She is a tough at-bat.
Roper has reached base in a bunch of ways today, including a sacrifice in the second. Remember, she led off this series with a home run on Friday night. And takes strike 2. Worth noting for NC State, after some defensive trouble, and they have made a change. April Visser is now in at shortstop. Let's see if Nestor finds a one on the ground, and it's still 1-2.
The pitch count for Nestor is something that we'll want to pay attention to. Evan mentioned when she came in on relief for Brooklyn Lucero, she had thrown almost 140, 145 pitches last night, already up into the mid-50s here.
This battle exemplifies how tough it is to retire Georgia Tech. They are 2nd in the ACC in home runs, top 4 in batting average, and lead the league in walks. So they can work a count. And here's Roper battling at the top of the order. Sydney Nestor is ready, and it's 2-2.
It's frustrating as a pitcher. You find yourself ahead in the count, 0-2, 1-2, like Sydney Nestor has on Brianna Roper here, and you throw in quality pitches that are normally strikeout pitches. But these Georgia Tech batters consistently spoil those, so it's on Sydney Nestor to stay calm and collected.
There's a drive into right. The battle is won by Brianna Roper. Solo shot puts Georgia Tech back in front here in the 4th.
And that's an example of Brianna Roper working the count, getting a pitch over the middle of the plate. Talked about Sydney Nestor. She's thrown quality pitches prior to giving up the home run, but Roper is able to spoil those And then this time, Brianna Roper gets a Nestor mistake and deposit it over that right field wall. And don't look now, but Georgia Tech back in front.
How about the power this weekend for Roper? Her first 2 home runs of the season, both in this series. And Georgia Tech back in front.
I know Brianna Roper does so many things for Georgia Tech so well, but seeing the way that she's batted this weekend, the way she squared up the balls, I'm surprised that those are the first 2 home runs she's hit this season.
Stanford works ahead with 1 out. A junior out of Georgia, who's busy with home runs her last couple of years. 2-time all-conference selection in the ACC. And you do wonder now for Nestor how fine she's trying to be. She makes 1 mistake, it's a home run, had to grind through these innings. What can she do to continue her outing with more success?
Well, she just got to go back to the basics for her. She's a fantastic pitcher for NC State. As you can see, she's rising up the record book for the Wolfpack, so she's just got to go back and do what she does best.
That's forcing a ground ball, kicked around. And the Logan Morris mistake puts a runner on with 1 out. I might roll that a single officially, but that's a play that Morris would love to make.
Yeah, I could see that one be ruling. I can honestly see it either way, but I think they're going to go with a single because it would have been a tough play for Logan Morris regardless.
Stanford gets the single officially, a multi-hit game for the 2-hole threat. Set the stage for Trisha Awald. And this is not a batter you want to leave runners on for. She takes strike 1.
Now Awald hitting .429 on the season, so she consistently finds her way onto the base pass. Leads the team in home runs.
And is 3rd in the league in hits. Laying off that one. Runner heads for second. Beautiful throw, creates a rundown. And the defense of the NC State catcher, Sam Sack, has been excellent.
You love the reflexes by the NC State catcher right there. Dirt ball. Stanford gets the read. Good read. I thought it was a great job, but I don't think she was expecting Sam Sack to be able to get up so quickly and make that throw. And she threw a bullet down there to April Visser.
Throwing this out there. Sam the vacuum sack. Cleaning everything up behind the plate.
You're going to have to trademark that one.
See,
that's
social media
solid.
team picks that one up.
If they don't, they should. That is right. She is a vacuum back there. Nothing rarely gets by her. And when it does, I'd argue it's not her fault.
And that really helps out Sydney Nestor, who still has to face this prolific threat in Trisha Awald, who's reached base twice tonight. Two and 2. You hear that chant about the big old bat. Well, big reason why. She's hitting .440 with 5 dingers. Always a threat from the left side.
Yeah, her OPS is over 1,000.
Just missing 3 and 2.
And that's a textbook example of why Georgia Tech has as many walks as they do right there. That is a pitch that most hitters would be swinging on. But and it's not just Awald, it's everyone that comes to bat for Georgia Tech. They're laying off those borderline pitches.
Ground ball. New shortstop. Visser can't make the play. And the defensive bugaboos continue. That is officially an error. So first error for NC State tonight. Bianca Mora slides into the spot for Crosby Huckabee, taking advantage of a 3rd NC State error in this ball game. Moore hitting just 125 on her young season. Combination of defensive mishaps and falling behind hitters. It's been a longer outing than Sydney Nestor would have liked. After climbing the ladder in those 6 2/3, nearly 140 pitches yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, well, NC State's given away 3 extra outs already this ball game. You know, that's an extra innings worth of outs that they've already given away and allowed Georgia Tech to continue to hit here. So it's on Moore now to make NC State pay for their 3rd miscue of the game.
Yellow Jackets still searching for that first conference win. The offense has done its part. Can they add some insurance here in this 4th inning as the count works to 3-1?
What did the guys from baseball say about
Bianca Mora's big coming out party was against a big-time foe in Kentucky last year. 2 home runs in that series. Here she is now smacking one foul. Everybody at home, clap your hands. Come join us. We are in a great offensive weekend. 6-5 here in the 4th, game 3.
They're keeping it live here in Raleigh.
And if Bianca Mora hits a home run after that song, she deserves a standing ovation. To be that locked into how this is all going.
I know, I'd be dancing. It'd be way difficult for me to do that.
Instead, a ground ball foul extends the at-bat.
If I had a nickel for every time you said a Georgia Tech batter extends the at-bat, we could go out to dinner after this game and eat at a really nice restaurant.
And the pitching coaches want to make it a Subway sandwich with how few times we say it. Full count, ball 4. Mora checks in, gets her first at-bat and walks.
Errors are always bad, but when a pitcher like Sydney Nestor is out there who has already thrown well over 200 pitches this weekend, any extra pitches that you make this right-hander throw is just more taxing, and it's just so difficult to continue to battle back from.
You're looking at Chelsea Wilkinson talking it over with her pitcher. Chelsea just graduated from Georgia 5 years ago. She led her team to the College World Series.
You'd have to think for her this is a little bit more personal, being a Georgia Bulldog, Georgia Tech coming into Raleigh. You know, she knows what that rivalry's like. Obviously Georgia being in the SEC, Georgia Tech being in the ACC, so they don't usually get to play. But when they do, there's definitely, you know, a rivalry here to, you know, say this is our state. So you know Chelsea Wilkinson really wants to get after it and put these Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets away.
It's been the offenses that made the difference in this series. 2 gone by for Kennedy Cowden. Nestor forces her to foul it off. Now Cowden's strength's been hitting with 2 outs. You see that average at 257, but with 2 outs, she's hitting 460.
I'd sit here and tell you that I'm surprised to see a Georgia Tech batter's average just go up by that much, but I'm really not. You know, just watching them this weekend so far, the quality at bats after bat after bat with 1 out, 2 outs, no outs, it doesn't really matter. I said it earlier, these Yellow Jacket softball players, they're calm. It doesn't matter if they got 2 strikes or 2 outs. They stay poised, they stay balanced, and they continue to extend innings.
1-2 as Nestor finds the corner. Sydney was awesome last night, mowing down hitters with 8 strikeouts. She did walk 5. Now her going on 2 1/3 innings, trying to escape this 4th and keep it a 1-run game. 2-2 on the good stop by Sack.
And a pitcher doesn't make that pitch if they don't have the confidence in their catcher to block it and keep the runners from advancing. And that's just the confidence that NC State has in Sam Sack.
Sam Sack, the Dyson quality vacuum cleaner back there, getting the job done behind the dish. 2-2. Line to right, but foul.
I could have caught that one.
I think you should trademark that Sam Sack, the vacuum cleaner.
Oh, this is great.
Give credit to these Georgia Tech hitters. Making life very difficult for Sydney Nestor, who was one of the more prolific strikeout arms in this conference, yet just has 3 Ks in 3 innings of work. Nothing has come easy. Exhibit A, it's 3-2. So if this is the drama for game 3 of this series, what's it going to be like tomorrow when these teams battle out for game 4?
Honestly, I don't know. I can't imagine what it's going to be like. I think it's going to continue the trend of just being an absolute slugfest.
A walk loads the bases for Cowden, and the carousel just keeps turning and churning out hitters. I don't think it gets any easier for Nestor. Emma Kauf comes up next, who's hitting .312, by the way. Who needs a home run derby? We should just have these two teams get after it in a weekend slugfest, and the winner get your inaugural trophy.
I think you'd be hard-pressed to find 2 better home run hitting teams.
Since it's in Raleigh, we'll give you a little inaugural oak that falls from a tree and call it a day with some barbecue sauce on it.
I love that idea.
If we're Atlanta, we get some Coke and Pepsi rivals between the Atlanta and the North Carolina crowd.
Ooh, yeah, that'd be good. Or my favorite restaurant in Atlanta, the Varsity. Love that. Love going down there. Back when you could go watch Braves games, stop by the Varsity prior to going in there.
0-2 on Emma Kauf. Emma reached on an error, one of 3 defensive miscues for the Wolfpack, and then struck out in the 3rd. It's also incredible to think it's a 6-5 game. Georgia Tech's had their hitters rotate around the lineup 3 times in 4 innings.
I think it's just because of the quality at bats. You know, you mentioned Sydney Nestor with 3 walks. You know, she's in relief of Brooklyn Lucero. They're just quality at bats.
1-2. Georgia Tech has shaken off the rust of a walk-off loss earlier today. Had a 2-run lead going into the 7th, gave up 3. And they have been resilient here in game 3 of the series, scoring a run here in the 4th to regain the lead. Ground ball. This should do it. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th. 6-5 Georgia Tech, with the Wolfpack looking to tie it here on ACC Network Extra.
One error, they strand 3. To the bottom of the 4th, Jackets lead 6-5.
Pretty sure they have committed the most errors in the ACC. Oh, wow. Oh, my bad. That's Logan Morse.
That's a good question.
Oh, okay.
Logan Morse. It's been a long day.
Your confidence had me thinking I was wrong.
They don't look like the 2nd best fielding team in the ACC.
That gonna change on Monday.
Yes.
Sounds confident.
We are rolling, skating, cruising, whatever verb you want to use, into the bottom of the fourth. Georgia Tech jumping back in front with a huge home run from Brianna Roper. The Yellow Jackets searching for that first conference win here on the road in Raleigh, and it's now back in the circle. Lexi Ray trying to pick up where she left off. So we've talked ad nauseum about Georgia Tech's resilient offense. Now for the Wolfpack, bottom three in the order. Bridget Norberg to lead things off. First pitch swing, that's in play. Scoots away from first, a bobble and safe. AWOL with trouble with it, and a leadoff runner on.
That's the second time today NC State has hit one right off the end of the bat. It has been difficult for the Georgia Tech infield to field cleanly, and both times NC State runners are able to reach.
That is 5 combined errors between the two clubs. Well, that ball had some wicked spin on it. Tony Hawk would have appreciated the triple axle angle that ball took off the bat. There's actually a great documentary on the Masterclass app that Tony Hawk does, explaining the art of skateboarding. If you're looking for a little COVID quarantine adventure, that's what I did this summer, is download the Masterclass. Oprah Winfrey, Serena Williams, Tony Hawk, people like that.
Really?
They do 6-7 hour courses on their field of expertise. Daniel Negreanu from poker.
Oh, wow, I'd love to learn.
Gordon
how to do
Ramsay
poker.
did a cooking special.
And what was this?
The Masterclass app.
The Masterclass app.
Yeah,
I do not know how I missed that.
It's definitely worth your time.
Is there anyone on there that can teach me how to putt?
They teach you how to stop some offenses. Look at these teams swinging it today. Runner holds it first.
Yeah, the art of pitching.
Who would you ask at the big league level about the art of pitching? I might go Max Scherzer, just for the emotion of how he throws and that off-colored eye he has.
They don't call him Mad Max for a reason, but to be honest, I'd probably have to either go with Jacob deGrom or Clayton Kershaw. I mean, don't get me wrong, Mad Max is a great option.
Here's the strikeout of Sam Gress from Lexi Ray.
Good pitch on the outer half of the plate. Mad Max would have appreciated that one right there.
There's some good baseball players between these two programs as well. Just thinking big picture here. And the softball standpoint, both these teams looking to get back to regional play. The Yellow Jackets trying to rekindle that success from 2005 to 2011. They won 4 regular season titles in the conference. NC State reached the 2015 College World Series. And I do wonder, with the strength of the Pac-12 from a softball standpoint and the strength of both the SEC and the Big 12, can an ACC team get back and have major success in Omaha?
I think it's possible. I mean, obviously, you talk about Florida State, just a few years removed from winning the national championship.
And I mean to say Oklahoma City, my apologies.
Correct. No, correct. We were talking baseball here. Easy, been a long day. Very easy to confuse the two, but I don't see any reason why the ACC could not be represented in Oklahoma City. There's quality softball from top to bottom.
Right now in the national polls, Oklahoma, UCLA, Alabama, and Arizona, the heavy hitters in the top 4 spots. But the likes of Virginia Tech at 13th overall, Florida State climbing the top 25, and Clemson entering the polls this week. Couple of heavy hitters in this league. As here's a line drive into right center. That ball's got the wall written all over it. Extra bases, bringing in a run. Oh no, holding at third is Norberg. Big one-out double for NC State.
But she's so used to Patrick Swift waving her around from third. She was surprised when he held up the stop sign, nearly missed it, as Norberg likely would have been thrown out of home because the throw was right there. But Kaylee Lambert with a big one-out double. And NC State now cooking here with 1 out in the bottom of the 4th.
That's her first double of the season, as if any other offensive record wouldn't be broken today. Setting the stage for the top of this lineup, and not an easy spot for Lexi Ray to escape, as here comes the pitching coach out to the circle, Marty McDaniel.
Yeah, both pitching coaches have spent a lot of time in the circle today talking to their pitchers either by making a change or going over the game plan, just trying to calm them down. But, you know, NC State, you know, they took a gut punch last half inning. Georgia Tech got ahead on the Brianna Roper home run. And so they come back with the body blow of their own here, trying to get at least one, possibly two. You'd have to like their chances with Sam Russ at the plate.
With that double now, every player in the NC State lineup has reached base today. Georgia Tech with a huge home run for Brianna Roper took the lead in the top half, and now it's the Wolfpack's turn here in the bottom half. So Lexi Ray serves up the double, now trying to survive Sam Russ in the top of this order. We mentioned coming in Georgia Tech's pitching struggles. Well, Marty McDaniel may be the perfect solution to this problem. He's coached 34 All-Americans and 70 All-Conference players in his career at Tennessee and UT Chattanooga, where his career began in '96. That's when you know you're doing something right, when your coaching career begins before your players are even born.
Yeah, there's a lot of wisdom that Georgia Tech's pitching coach McDaniel is able to impart on these players.
Off the end of the bat, runner from third stays, not in time at first, and the bases are loaded.
Well, no, I believe Bridget Norbert actually scored it on that.
You know what? She did score. My apologies. 6-6 here on the RBI. So Tati Forbes' turn in the fourth. Now we've seen Forbes lay down a couple of bunts in this series. She's showing off great speed. Will Coach Swift try to put anything on here in this situation? Ground ball past the pitcher, through the middle. NC State has taken the lead on an RBI single from Tati Forbes.
And this top of the lineup for NC State doing what they do best, finding a way to get runs across and base hits. And Tati Forbes does what she does all year long for NC State, just finds a way to get on base, another base hit, RBI single for the senior right fielder.
2 runs in this inning for NC State. And the hit parade continues for Angie Rizzi. Now a 6-game hit streak for Tati Forbes, by the way. This ball is driven out to right, deep to center field, and goodbye. 3-run shot for Rizzi makes it 10-6.
That's a 3-run home run for Angie Rizzi.
Just a no-doubter by the 3-hole hitter for NC State. Angie Rizzi gets one over the middle of the plate and just demolishes it. Tosses her bat to her dugout in excitement. And NC State answers with 5 of their own and still threatening here in the fourth.
Number 10, Logan Morris.
5th home run of the season for Angie Rizzi, and she did not miss that ball by any bit.
No, she put that one right on the screws.
And Georgia Tech to make a pitching change after this 4th inning has gotten out of hand for Coach Eileen Morales. So we talked about the power numbers coming in for these two clubs, the top 2 home run hitting teams. It has been on full display. We'll take a break. New pitcher for Georgia Tech coming in here in the 4th. Man, wow, that ball was pimped.
Yeah, you think?
Let's see if they put on the NC State Twitter account how far that ball went, because usually they track it pretty well.
Well, I think she has to go down to the guy and ask him.
Oh, I got you.
Your attention, please. Now in the pitcher's circle for the Yellow Jackets, junior from Whittier, California, number 6, Naomi Dickerson.
Let's see. Ooh. Naomi Dickerson. Did not expect that name today. New arm for the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, Naomi Dickerson, the junior out of Whittier, California. 4th appearance for Naomi this year, just 3 innings, 5 earned runs, and trying to slow down a red-hot hitting NC State lineup.
That's going to be a tall drink of water for Dickerson. This NC State lineup is piping hot right now. So she's tasked with trying to subdue the Wolfpack, who have played at 5.
You know, I thought you'd get with the word scolding there, but piping definitely tells the story as well.
I mean, you can come up with so many adjectives to describe both these teams, but as it relates to NC State, since they're the ones batting right now, they are scolding hot, piping hot, in fuego, whatever you want to call it. They are rolling in the batter's box.
5 runs in this inning, including a big shot for Angie Rizzi. Logan Morris takes strike 1 from Dickerson. One of the 7 different arms Georgia Tech has available. And now in this series alone, 6 of them have pitched. All we have not seen is Brooke Barfield yet. Ground ball, past the pitcher. Out at first, and 2 retired. Well, that's what you need if you're Georgia Tech, some quality outs, and maybe it's Naomi Dickerson's turn to keep Georgia Tech in this one.
Well, it's someone in the circle for Georgia Tech that's going to have to throw up some zeros to get them back into this ballgame. We mentioned, NC State won last night's game with 7 runs. They won with 8. They've got 10 already. We had discussed earlier, I said the winner is going to have 10 runs, but I don't even know if 10 is going to be enough at the way these 2 teams are hitting right now.
Speaking of home runs, here's the home run queen today. Randy Farricker with a couple of big flies. Facing Dickerson, the all-academic honor roll selection in the ACC. Fourth-year junior comes to the plate and has trouble with that one. It's 1-1.
Yeah, it's okay to get away from the catcher when there's nobody on base. No harm, no foul there. It looks like Moore may have wore that ball on her hand by the way she's shaking it out right now.
Farricker 2 home runs in earlier game today. And takes ball 2.
A lot of natural movement here from Naomi Dickerson. Left-handed arm. Ball seems to have consistent spin, whether it's an off-speed pitch or her fastball.
As Dickerson falls behind here in relief, she does get the first out she faces. And how about this turn of events? 2 runs in the 3rd for NC State, 5 more in the 4th. And the bats that have not been quiet all day continue to swing it well. And there's a walk. Inning continues with 2 gone by. You can understand the frustration for Eileen Morales. Her club was 1 out away from a win in the game earlier today. The pitching staff had thrown much better in this game up until this particular inning. And yet, despite how potent their offense is, it's going to be tough to win games giving up 9-10 a night.
Yeah, she's got to be shaking her head a little bit, trying to figure out, what do we have to do as a pitching staff to keep NC State off the base pass. But she knows she's got a quality team that can hit. We've seen it all weekend long, so it's going to be on her offense to try to get back in this ballgame and hope that Dickerson can be the one that silences the Wolfpack.
Big swing and a miss for strike 1. Sam Sack 0 for 2 today. One of the lone threats not to get on base for the Wolfpack. It's kind of fitting after game 1 today where she reached base all 4 times. Dickerson misses high. Her last inning in the third gave up 4 runs against Georgia. Would love to repeat her success in her debut, a scoreless frame against Clemson in the conference opener. A lot of high misses for Dickerson and pretty easy to lay off for the NC State catcher.
Yeah, she can find a way to reach here. NC State will have batted around like Georgia Tech did in the first game.
Another walk. So after retiring her first 2, it's been a tough go of it for Naomi Dickerson. What's crazy is this inning actually started on a routine ground ball that was booted by Trisha Awald, and it has now turned into a 5-run output, putting this game in a little bit of separation.
Yeah, it was off the bat of Bridget Norberg, who we're seeing for the second time now this inning.
That's called inside. You don't see this too often. 16 runs, combined 13 hits. These potent offenses are going punch for punch here in game 3 of the series. And at some point, if you're Norberg, you're just going to dare Dickerson to throw a strike. That has not come easy for the 4th-year junior out of the pen. And here comes her catcher to have a quick chat with Mora.
Yeah, she got Logan Morris to bounce out to the shortstop, Jen Soleo, but since then she's issued consecutive 3-1 or 5-pitch walks, and she's behind here on Bridget Nordberg.
Between Nelman, Ray, and now Dickerson trying to find some outs. She finds the zone for strike 1. What's really crazy to think is one swing of the bat could make this a 7-run game after State entered the inning down a run.
Yep, finished it yesterday.
Norberg delivers a deep drive to left, but foul.
I thought you were right on cue with
I was
that
ready.
one.
I was ready. Oh man, I was ready to call my shot.
Oh my goodness! If that had stayed fair, my goodness. But Norberg was sitting back on that. She read it perfectly, but because of that natural spin from Naomi Dickerson, just gets in on the hands of Norberg, and you can see her smiling there. She's like, I got all of that one.
Naomi Dickerson playing with fire here in the 4th. Ground ball. And the tag is made at 3rd. Megan Cassidy, another good defensive play. Let's go to the 5th. We got a 4-run ball game in Raleigh.
They score 5 runs on 4 hits, 2 walks, 1 error. It's strand 2. We're through 4. It's now the Wolfpack 10 and the Yellow Jackets 6.
Yeah, there would be no smiles on my baseball team if we were down 0-2 in a series like this. Yeah. Oh, you got. Oh my goodness! Look at that. No chance. Wow. Did not see that coming from Duke. 6 points in 10 minutes. That's got to be wrong. I'm going to update. Oh, my.
Oh, I was asking, are you hanging in there? I know it's been a long day for you.
So Rizzi's was 243.
Oh, distance, wow.
Yeah.
That ball was pinned.
Mm-hmm.
NC State with a 5 spot in the bottom of the 4th to regain the lead. They're in game 3 of this series. Offense has come full throttle this weekend. And for the Wolfpack, it's Angie Rizzi hitting the ball 243 feet to put her team out in front.
And now you see Sydney Nestor talking to Logan Morris. It's her opportunity to silence these Georgia Tech bats and get a 0 thrown up somehow to get the Wolfpack back in to try to put on more runs.
Georgia Tech has scored in all but 1 inning today. That even translates to earlier today. And then game 1, a lot of offense in an 8-7 final. Here's Zeitler to lead things off, working ahead.
Every now and then you just run into a good old-fashioned slugfest where it doesn't matter what any of the pitchers are doing. The batters are just locked in for both teams, and you're going to see high-scoring affairs. And you saw that in the 8-7 victory, 7-4 last night, and you're seeing 10-6 right now with plenty of ball left to be played.
Sydney Nestor settling into a 4-run lead, but falls behind to Zeitler. So Nestor now, we mentioned over 140 pitches yesterday. She's going to go at least 100 pitches today. It's a tough ask against a very patient Georgia Tech offense that leads this league in walks and is second in home runs.
And you have to think fatigue is going to become a factor, if not already a factor, for Sydney Nestor. Would not be surprised if NC State had some movement in the bullpen, perhaps. Maybe a Sam Gress or a Abby Traha, because I can't imagine Estelle Cech coming back in after throwing a career high in pitches, just a few short hours ago.
A 4-pitch walk opens up the 5th inning.
Zeitler draws the leadoff walk. It's a runner at first now for Village Tech at shortstop, number 7. Jim
And in fact, that's just the first time in this game Georgia Tech's had a leadoff runner reach.
That's hard to believe considering they put up 6 runs that the leadoff batter hasn't reached until this point.
Jill Saleo's turn from the left side. She's been on twice and scored once back in the 2nd inning. Runners hold on that fake bunt. There's one thing to note about Eileen Morales' club here at Georgia Tech. They are going to scrap and fight at the plate. They average 6 runs a game, and they're right at it here in the 5th inning. There's strike 1. Jen Saleo has the rare attributes of turning a triple play and a double play in the same game. And in fact, in consecutive innings in their opening series of the year.
That's impressive. I mean, a double play is one thing. To be able to get a triple play, that's impressive. It's always nice seeing those, but usually when you see them, it's like the runners on first and second, no outs, obviously. It's hit right to the third baseman who fields it on the bag, fires to second, fires to first.
Now, Saleo had to be athletic. She caught it at short, tagged a runner, and threw to a base. And she hits it right back to the pitcher. Oh, nice scoop at second. And Breck saves some trouble.
What have you been saying today? Outs have not come easy.
You are not kidding. Brantley Hattrich and Evan Budrovich with you for game 3 of this series, 2nd game of the day. Look at that smile from the pitcher here. Sydney Nestor, she knows it. Nothing has come easy at Dale Softball Stadium. Thank you guys for sticking with us here in the back end of this doubleheader.
Yeah, the crew here today has really been fantastic.
Props to everybody who got here nice and early, got all set up for a doubleheader, and we have had plenty of offense to show for it.
The highlight reel is going to be hard to come by. Have to cut stuff out to try to figure out what belongs.
The melt might be like 45 minutes today.
Oh,
A lot of action, including a home run last inning from Angie Rizzi, making it 10-6 NC State. And Cassidy falls behind on the count. She is 1 for 2 today. Cassidy's been sharp over there at third base. Now looking to do her damage out of the 9 spot. Line drive. Caught by the first baseman. And there's the second out. I will admit that ball fooled me a little bit off the bat, but
Yeah, I thought it was going to be hit a lot harder, maybe perhaps out to Tatiana Forbes in right. Not Randy Farragher over at first base.
Farragher, the converted shortstop, playing over there at first today. Now back to the top of the order in Roper. And what feels like, 2 weeks ago when she hit that home run in the 4th to put Georgia Tech back in front.
Well, I think her home run and Angie Rizzi's home runs are both still in the air. The moonshot that she hit over the scoreboard in right in the 4th just absolutely pummeled.
There's strike 1 from Nestor, who's nearing 100 pitches in her second outing of this series.
And I feel like this is the benefit, a situation like this, referring to Sydney Nestor, the benefit of not having midweeks this year. She's going to have 4, possibly 5 days to rest her arm because she is well over 200 pitches now.
Plenty of time to gear up for the upcoming series. Roper's hit both her home runs this year in this weekend. And the Wolfpack, after tomorrow's game, will have some time to rest up for Virginia Tech, a top 15 team coming to town next weekend. Although the way this game has been pitched and the way the series has been thrown, you wouldn't be surprised if all pitchers are available tomorrow to try to close out this series.
Yeah, I think it's going to be the Johnny Holstaff mentality for both teams, Georgia Tech and NC State. It's going to be, we're going to throw somebody out there to start the ball game, see how long they can go, and then we're just going to keep throwing people out there until we can get to 7 innings. Everyone's going to see time here in the circle here in Raleigh this weekend.
Brianna Roper fighting off more pitches, showing you why she led the country in hits in 2019. Last year, she led the team in runs scored. And here she is digging in with a 318 clip and a 2-2 count. Down she goes. Quick inning for NC State in the circle. The Wolfpack lead by 4.
On the top of the 5th, no runs, no hits, 1 walk, no errors, 1 left on. At the bottom of the 5th, score remains the Wolfpack team. Yellow Jacket 6.
You thinking what I'm thinking?
All right, fans, it's that time again. Time to get up, warm up those legs, and help us sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game."
Yeah, I was going to say, you think
Yes, ma'am. Awesome. Whoop, whoop. Thought about it. And a doink.
are we going to do it again?
You got to find some new words. Let's see.
We got to say boom
And
here.
a boom.
A boom.
Oh, there we go. Blop. Yep, a blop and a boom.
God, the emotion on that home run. My goodness.
When you know, you know. Or as they say on Instagram, IYK, IYK.
I'm so old school. If she does that, she's wearing one.
Yeah, you're beaming her.
She's wearing one next at bat.
These teams can afford to hit anybody. Look at all the runs they're being
I was
scored.
going to say, you can't afford to put runners on.
That'll be a 2-run shot in no time if you do that.
Exactly. It's Penholster again.
Leading off the bottom of the 5th, Wolfpack.
NC State leading 10-6, thanks in large part to a 5-run 4th inning where the offense got cooking.
Yeah, an infield hit by Sam Russ allows the first run to score, and Tatiana Forbes doing what she does best, finds a single up the middle.
So we have
Another
our ping,
one.
our blop, and then here's the big boom, the 3-run shot. Coming in for the second time this weekend, and right back to it, Palmer Penholster. who had a chance to earn the win in the earlier game today. But NC State scored 3 runs in the bottom of the 7th to win it. Still incredible in modern college softball to see 6 pitchers used in a weekend. A few years back, a team would only have 4 pitchers on their entire roster.
Yeah, you're so used to seeing these athletes go complete games, or at least 1 or 2 at the most. And so to see both teams rolling out their whole pitching staffs, it's interesting to see.
Palmer Pinholster falling behind 3-1. Visser hits in this spot for Gress after playing defensively at short. And swings for strike 2. Palmer Pinholster, nice job in game 1. 3 2/3 innings. And in game 2, pop up out of play. I wonder what that sounds like when you're in the dugout and you hear the metal banging with a foul ball.
I feel like you shriek just a little bit, even though you know it's going to hit the dugout. Just the sound of the ball hitting that metal roof. You just look up and just, kind of tweak just a little bit.
The fight or flight response kicks in. On the payoff pitch, popped up out of play.
So the first few games of the season, we were actually along the third base line here, outside of the press box, because of COVID rules. And you'd have to really pay attention now, because as those balls come right over that fence along the third base side, a few of them actually hit our tent. So I was telling Lena and whoever else was out there with me, I should start bringing my glove for this.
Line drive into right. And that hangs up enough for the catch. And McCouf there to make the play. One of the rare fly balls that stayed in the park here for NC State this evening. 10 runs on 7 hits. And now Lambrecht, the 9 spot, comes up. All of these big uppercut swings from these hitters in Coach Jennifer Patrick Swift's lineup. I think it goes one of 2 ways, but in this game, it's resulted in a lot of big hits.
It has, and that's the home run mindset mentality. Go big or go home. That's why you see these swing planes that these NC State players have. They're trying to get underneath the ball to get it into the air because they have the ability to drive it out. I'm sure batting practice for this Wolfpack team is just something to marvel at.
Now over 25 home runs for this offense. And a pop-up should result in out number 2. One thing I will say, if Pinholster can do her job here, this Georgia Tech offense has shown they can score runs quickly. Critical frame here in the 5th.
Yeah, they've put up multiple runs in 2 of the 5 innings so far tonight, so they could easily claw back into this lead.
We mentioned this in game 1, but I will give Palmer some credit. Every walk-up song that comes up, she has lipped and voiced the words to every song.
Well, she's got to stay loose out there. She's staying loose. That's her. That's what she does.
Nothing in 2 on Sam Russ, who has reached base twice tonight. Russ with 2 more stolen bases is now 5 away from tying the program record. She's not able to get on this time. A strikeout for Pinholster. Let's go to the 6th. 1-2-3 inning for Georgia Tech.
Oh, I botched that rejoin so badly. I don't know why I talked. That's my fault.
My word of the day is my favorite part of those highlight rejoins.
I know. I snaked it from you. I'm a terrible person.
That's all right. We're trying to keep our energy up here. Ugh.
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
That was so bad.
You know, when Josh probably rolled in here at like 9 in the morning setting up, he's like, I'll be done by 3, 4 o'clock, head home, get a little dinner, get ready for the baseball game tomorrow, more softball, whatever's coming up. And then he realized it's past 7 o'clock and he's roasting marshmallows here in the studio. So
Well, you got a rubber match tomorrow over there at baseball now. Miami won.
it'll be neat. State definitely needs the win tomorrow. So
Right here at Dale Softball Stadium. 12 noon first pitch is the final game of the series against the same Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets.
oh, did he change mass?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. Oh, wait, I think he heard me. There we go. Look at that thing. Beautiful. I know there's a lot of pressure. 10 on the clock. NC State with a 4-run lead as we roll into the 6th. Georgia Tech trying to keep their offense going and keep this game alive.
Off the top of the 6th for the Yellow Jackets, left fielder number 13, Cameron Stanford.
And how about this? Our hardworking camera crew, the best mass in the ACC. You got to love it. Those guys report at 11 a.m. Busy day.
I have no idea what I missed, but okay.
Good response here from Sydney Nestor, who entered early in this game and has now thrown 3 2/3, kept Georgia Tech to just 2 runs, and is now in line for the win.
I can't imagine what her arm feels like, though, right now. 140 yesterday, over 110 today.
To her credit, getting the ball in the circle with her team needing some outs after Brooklyn Lucero did not go very deep into this game. And that's been the struggle all weekend for NC State, getting quality starts. They try to piece everything together here in Game 3 and get ready for Game 4 tomorrow. This is popped up. And adventurous out number 1.
April Visser at short for out number 1.
Not sure if it's the lighting or you know, where those pillars are that have all those lights on there, but I wonder if that has something to do with April Visser struggling a little bit to find that ball in the air. As you saw, she kind of wobbled a little bit as she secured the catch.
The most important part, though, she avoided the 4th error for NC State today. And have copped up a couple of balls. There's Nestor pounding a strike. And to Trisha Awald.
I feel like regardless of the way the weekend ends for NC State, I have a very, very good feeling there's going to be a lot of ground balls being fielded throughout this upcoming week.
Trisha Awald has actually not gotten a hit in this game, yet she's reached base 3 times. One of the hottest hitters in Georgia Tech's lineup, looking to build on a 420 start to her season. Make it 1-2. Nestor would love a quick inning, give her offense a chance to put this game away. Right back to her. Sydney Nestor's come to play.
Just quality PFP right there. Comebacker right at Nestor. Knew she had plenty of time.
Going to be the right fielder, number 3, Bianca Mora.
Nestor with 2 quick ones here.
Bianca Mora, her second at bat in this spot. Walked her last time up. I would imagine if you're Sydney Nestor, nearing 270 pitches in these 2 games, she will not be an option tomorrow.
You would think, but the way that these athletes are conditioned now and the abilities of their training staffs, I mean, ideally NC State would like to not throw her back out there, but if they're in a bind, Sydney Nestor has shown in this young season that she is the ace of this Wolfpack pitching staff.
4 different arms today for the Wolfpack. And it's 1-2 with the strike. This is a rare moment for Georgia Tech, a chance for back-to-back zeros on the board, an offense that had been clicking in these last 2 games. Nestor just misses the edge.
Sam Sack really working for her pitcher right there, trying to get that call on the outer half of the plate.
Nestor sitting on 4 strikeouts in 4 innings. And a good battle brewing here with 2 outs. Sydney Nestor trying to pick up a 28th career win. And a slider towards the top 5 in program history. And more importantly, give her team a series win, taking the first 3 in this weekend set. Bianca Mora is to reach, then Kennedy Cowden comes up next for Georgia Tech, as the lineup flips to the bottom half of the order for Coach Eileen Morales. Swung on and missed. 1, 2, 3 for Sydney Nestor. Let's go to the bottom of the 6th. NC State up 4.
For the Yellow Jackets in the top of the 6th. We head to the bottom. Score remains NC State 10, Georgia Tech 6.
Man from Grayton. I was going to say from great mass to great dancing. Our camera ops are just killing it today.
They're getting after it over there.
It's like at the NBA games where they all try to dance off with each other and win like a free pizza or something. Look at our camera op dancing in the moonlight. Fun night for softball here in Raleigh. Whatever that guy's having to eat, I need some of that. The energy is locked in as we roll to the bottom of the 6th. Whether you're bundled up or having a good time, I want to appreciate all of our hard work from our ACC Network crew here today. NC State leads it 10-6 by virtue of the big fly. Tatiana Forbes to get things started here in the 6th. Takes strike 1. So Forbes in these 2 games today has now reached base 6 times in 8 appearances.
I'd say that's pretty good.
Whoop, that pitch slipped away from Pinholster just a bit. Palmer made a quick work of the 5th inning. And has now thrown 5 innings on the year, giving up 2 runs. See, when I think of a strike zone, I think of just above the belt, like belly button belt level there. I'm surprised that's called high, but obviously it's a new strike zone every game with a different home plate umpire.
I mean, personally, as a former pitcher, the lower the strike zone, the better for me, because I like to be on the lower half. But you're right; those high strikes are the ones that are kind of a head scratcher, because usually it's from the chest down to your knees. But as you mentioned, every umpire is different in how they do things.
There's strike two. Tatiana Forbes, when leading off an inning, which keep in mind she hits second, so it's not as common, gets on 68% of the time. And right on cue as the count full. You wonder when some of these video game numbers of the first 12 games of the year will even out a bit, but I don't know if that's going to happen with someone as prolific as Tati Forbes.
That's the thing. I mean, her numbers are, if we're going to talk about last year, they're down.
Nice strikeout for Pinholster, who needs the numbers when the righty's bringing it.
It's a great pitch here on that 3-2 outer half of the plate. Not a whole lot Tatiana Forbes could do there, but she was hitting over 500 last year, so by her standard, she's having a down year. I'll take that any day of the week if I'm a batter in college.
Palmer Pinholster having a coming out day in the circle between these two games. Now has to work to the power threat. Angie Rizzi. There have been some great bat flips and reactions to balls hit today. She may have had the best back in the fourth inning. Nice snag at third. Two gone by.
That was a nice defensive play over there by Cassidy, playing the hot corner. Been there all weekend, showing the range.
Megan Cassidy's made 3 nice plays at short.
Now batting third baseman number 10, Logan Morris.
Logan Morris tries to extend the inning for State. It's crazy to think, Brantley, in this moment, but at Georgia Tech, only down 4. If they can get through these last 2 innings without much damage, they have a chance in the 7th to make things interesting.
Oh, there's no doubt in my mind that Georgia Tech is capable of putting up 4 runs in a single inning. That's why it'd be crucial for NC State if they could find a way to get that 11th run. That way a grand slam doesn't tie things up.
Palmer Pinholster is so locked in. She is communicating to her catcher. She's going through signals. She is dialing up everything right here in relief. Inning and 2/3, nothing on the board against her. Morris 2 for 3 today with 4 RBI in the heart of this lineup. And that's out of play. Georgia Tech in the 7th will have 5, 6, 7 in the order. That being said, they've scored for every part of the order in this series. Almost hit Morris that time.
Pinholster just letting Morris know that this is my batter's box. This is my strike zone here. I'm just going to let you know that I'm here.
Sophomore to McDonough, Georgia, pitching with confidence here in relief. Now trying to go through the heart of the order here in the 6th. Instead, gives up a fly ball to left. That's out of play. I tell you, any fly ball off the bat of whether it's Morris or Rizzi or these power hitters, and you instantly got to think danger could be coming.
Right, anytime they get it in the air, I wonder, is this one going to go over the fence?
An offense that continues to climb the national ranks in home runs. Doing it again here tonight. Georgia Tech jumped out to that 2-0 lead in the first. State with 5 runs in the 4th is pulled away. And this fly ball will stay in the park. Georgia Tech down to its final 3 outs, trying to salvage game 3 of this series.
We head to the 7th. It's the Pac-10 and the Jacket 6.
I could overhear the coach on the mic being like, guys, let's settle down. We can't, we got to get some runs here.
Look at that halftime score. Oh, strong words.
Lauren says it needs to be a 1-2-3. Welcome back here to Raleigh. Producer Lauren is tired. Camera ops are probably frozen and our brains have been turned off. Did Louisville end up winning? Are they playing state in the final?
Yes. Louisville beat Syracuse earlier.
Okay. So the big final. Thanks for sticking with us. Time for the top of the 7th. Georgia Tech trying to salvage game 3 of this weekend set. Offense has not been the issue in this series, and now can the Yellow Jackets resurrect that offense in the 7th against Sydney Nestor, who has settled in nicely to this one. 4 2/3, much like on Friday night where she earned the win, a chance to close out this game here tonight.
And Nestor really been the workhorse for NC State this season. She's tasked with doing it again here.
NC State led by their power home run hitters that have slid into 7th in the country in total home runs. Now trying to stop the second best home run hitting team in Georgia Tech in the conference.
And being down by 4 in the 7th with 3 outs to go, likely going to see these Georgia Tech batters taking a strike to try to find a way to get into favorable accounts.
Cowden 1 for 2 tonight with a walk. Out in front for strike 2. Sydney Nestor just keeps proving us wrong. Look at that pitch count continue to rise. She struck out 5 and has picked up the slack after a slow outing from Brooklyn Lucero. Nestor misses outside. Well, she's gotten herself into trouble as the walks, 4 giveaways, and then 3 errors defensively behind her. That allowed Georgia Tech to lead 5-3 in the 3rd. And it's been all state since. If you are watching and wondering what this NC State offense, or the Georgia Tech offense, I should say, they do lead the league in walks. They have plenty of power. Nothing has come easy against Eileen Morales' offense. Full count. This would be a huge runner to reach base for Georgia Tech in the 7th. Ground ball gets through. Lead-off single for Kennedy Cowden.
If you thought Georgia Tech was going to go down quietly here in the 7th, you are sorely mistaken. This Yellow Jacket team is so tough and so resilient. You know they're going to go down swinging.
This is the first game the Wolfpack have scored 10 or more runs on the season, and it's not going to be an easy one to close out. The lineup continues here with Emma Kauf. Who bunts, that's foul.
You heard over the broadcast the coaching staff from NC State saying, take an out, trade an out. They're going to give us one, let's take it.
You do wonder if Georgia Tech wants to put some pressure on this state defense. There's strike two.
It would make sense, you know, NC State with 3 errors today, struggling defensively. You know, there's 3 things that have to happen in order for an out to be completed. You got to field it, you got to throw it, and you got to catch it.
On 0-2. Nestor wants her strikeout. Emma Kauf's got some pop. 5 doubles. Second in the conference. But today, 0 for 3. Make it 0 for 4.
Nestor with her 6th career hit.
Cal swinging at what would likely have been ball 4, but you know, behind in the count, you got to try to protect one way or the other, and Georgia Tech's been so good at that throughout today's doubleheader. Just for the first time, it goes the way of NC State on a pitch out of the batter's box.
Sydney Nestor's now hit the 5-inning mark in her outing. This is nearly mirror image of what she did last night. 6 2/3, 8 Ks to earn the win. She's 2 outs away from helping NC State secure the series.
You know, people are going to look back on Sydney Nestor's innings this weekend and they're like, oh, those are 2 quality starts for NC State, and look in there and see, oh, those were relief appearances.
Between Abby Traha last night and Brooklyn Lucero today, neither pitcher could get out of the first. But Nestor, the security blanket, has come in. Missing for a 2-0 count. What's Sam Sachs saying here to her right-handed pitcher?
Listen, I know you're tired. I know you've thrown a lot of pitches this weekend. Let's try to find a way. Let's get back into this at-bat. We're down 3-0 in the at-bat. Let's see if we can get a pitch over the middle of the plate, and let's let them hit their way on. Let's not issue any free passes. You've got this. You're our workhorse. Let's get it done.
Nestor trying to avoid a critical walk in the 7th. She cannot. 2 on with 1 out. Just 2 batters away from the top of the lineup now, Brantley, and this game is far from over.
And Jen Soleo and Megan Cassidy, they're tough. So I could easily see one of them finding a way for Brianna Roper.
We also have a dugout warning on NC State for contesting a call, I believe.
There's been some chirping from both dugouts today on the strike zone by the home plate umpire, but you know, finally enough is enough at that point. NC State getting that warning issued.
Given the day he's had to work behind the plate, I do understand.
Yeah, exactly. He's been here a long time.
NC State won in walk-off fashion 8-7 earlier today. Now in game 3 of this series. Georgia Tech hanging around, showing patience at the plate. I mean, it's truly incredible. A team that has not won a conference game. They've had 3 one-run losses, so they've been in a few of these contests. Just continuing to compete in their final at-bat. Soleo takes ball 2.
It's now 6 in a row from Sydney Nestor, but you know, like you mentioned, you would never know watching this Georgia Tech offense that they'd be winless in the conference. They just, ran through the buzzsaw of Florida State and Clemson, two teams that are sitting at the top of the ACC standings.
That results in 6 of their losses. And the next 2 are right here. So here's Chelsea Wilkinson. I know NC State has a lot of confidence in Nestor. She's been great this week, but you're putting a lot of pressure here on the third-year sophomore trying to climb her way out of trouble.
I didn't think that she would have the opportunity to throw more pitches today than she did yesterday. But looking at our stat sheet right now, she's at 130 pitches. And she's only got 1 out. She could throw at least another 10.
And I bet you Jill Saleo's not going to swing that bat until she absolutely needs to. A patient freshman shortstop who's been on all 3 times tonight. Strike 1.
That strike was grown by the NC State faithful. They're wondering where those pitches on those outer half have been the last 2 at-bats.
Ground ball. That gets through. Everyone holds 90 feet at a time. The tying run comes to the plate. Jill Saleo with her first hit of the day. And Georgia Tech's going to go to the bench for a pitch hitter here. Ariella Jackson to pitch hit. And we thought Nestor's job was tough before. Now it's gotten even more difficult. As Jackson's the tying run at the plate.
And 1 swing of the bat, and Georgia Tech is right back in this ball game.
Wouldn't surprise us the way this series has gone. And Georgia Tech's going to have a couple of swings to try to make this thing interesting. How about this? The first at-bat of the season for Ariella Jackson. Coming in, maybe the biggest moment of the series.
Yeah, Coach Morales confident in her team, and you can't blame her. So Cohen with Jackson over Cassidy here. I like the move.
1-1. Sydney Nestor was sitting pretty. A 4-run lead, but gives up 2 hits and a walk. Mixing a strikeout to Emma Kauf as well. And the top of the lineup is due next for Georgia Tech. Oh, 1-2.
That had tie ball game written all over that swing. But Sydney Nestor able to take something off of that and get a big swing and strike.
Can the biology major manufacture some drama here in the 7th? Down she goes, 2 gone by.
Lucky number 7, that's 7 Ks for Sydney.
Jackson in swing mode right there, trying to protect, unable to do so, but here it is. Sydney Nestor, Brianna Roper, bases loaded, 2 outs. What more can you ask for?
This is what you sign up for in the ACC when it comes to power hitting softball clubs. Roper with a home run in the 4th. What a moment with 2 outs. Strike 1.
Her second, if able to do so, would be monumental for this Yellow Jacket team.
Home run on Friday. Home run today for Roper. Yes. 1-1.
I know it's only been 2 pitches, but Sydney Nestor not bringing anything in on that inner half of the plate on Roper.
And last time they did, she hit it over the scoreboard in right field. Series on the line here in the 7th. At a play.
It's 2 outs. It's 2 strikes. Let me hear you, Wolfpack Nation.
The PA announcer tells the story of this one. Bases juiced. Can Sydney Nestor put this game away? Or will Brianna Roper have something to say about it here in Game 3 of the series? Nestor on 1 and 2. Evens the count.
Nestor wanted that when you saw her jump in right there. She hit her spot, she did everything right, but is not rewarded with the strike 3.
2 home runs tonight for the Georgia Tech offense. Now down to their final strike. Line drive into the corner and foul. Brianna Roper is one tough leadoff hitter.
I can only imagine what these athletes are feeling right now, because my heart is pumping out of my chest with this excitement here with Brianna Roper and Sydney Nestor, bases loaded. It's fitting that it's a 4-run deficit too.
NC State scored 5 in the 4th to take the lead. Now Georgia Tech, so many opportunities, including the bases loaded right here. Ball 3. If Roper were to reach, Cameron Stanford is due up next.
Who also has a home run here today.
Here we go, game on the line, payoff pitch with the bases juiced. Foul ball. This series started with a bang last night. It is picked up with home runs aplenty this afternoon and is finished with a doozy of a Game 3. Sydney Nestor trying to put this game away for NC State and take the first 3 games of the series. This line drive is foul. Brianna Roper is a tough out at the plate, and she is making Nestor earn it here in the 7th.
Well, they all are. Every single out, every single batter for Georgia Tech, when they get 2 strikes, they're not phased in the slightest bit. They just battle and they get pitched, and they find the mistakes made by the NC State pitchers and make them pay.
Here comes pitch number 9 of the at-bat. Line drive is down for a hit, rolling to the wall. 2 runs are in. Georgia Tech hanging around in the 7th on the RBI double by Roper.
That's what she does. She spoils good pitches from Sydney Nestor, and she gets one right over the middle of the plate. That natural lefty slice going away from the center fielder, Angie Rizzi, and NC State is fortunate that Roper kept that one in the ballpark. She hit that one right on the screws.
Sydney Nestor went 6 2/3 last night to earn the win. Now she's gone 5 1/3 over 140 pitches. Needs a couple more to get out of this ball game as here comes the even more dangerous Cameron Stanford. She's 2 for 3 tonight with an RBI, and she represents the go-ahead run. Strike 1. Don't tell me this is the 3rd weekend of conference play. These teams are locked in and ready to go on this Saturday night.
They absolutely are. Just phenomenal softball being played here. I know obviously pitching would like to be better, but these offenses are cooking, both for NC State and Georgia Tech.
Nestor on 0-1. Evens the count. There is a base open at first, but Trisha Awald, who leads Georgia Tech in batting average and home runs, is digging in next. This one gets away. Runners hold. You'd hate to see a ball game end on a play like that. So instead, it's 2-1.
And NC State and Sydney Nestor, you'd rather take on Cameron Stanford than you would Trisha Awald with the bases loaded or with the opportunity to put Georgia Tech. So in my mind, as a former pitcher, this is the ball game for me. This is who I've got to try to get out because I don't want Trisha Awald batting, who's hitting well over 400.
Now the 2-1. Called strike 2. How about the trust of Chelsea Wilkinson, the pitching coach, leaving in Nestor, who entered in the first inning. Pitch count rising at a premium and facing a power threat in Cameron Stanford. Here we go, the 2-2. Ball 3. With the ever dangerous Awald up next. Here we go, game on the line. This is the biggest pitch of the night. Nestor on 3-2 to Stanford. Misses inside. The bases are loaded.
Stanford draws the 2-out walk, rolls the bases down for first baseman, number 22, Trisha Awald.
Coach Patrick Swift can only sit back and watch as her big lead entering this inning has dwindled to 2. And here's Awald, who has 12 RBI on the year. Elaine Morales bringing in a special pitch runner over at first base.
Your attention, please. Now running for the Yellow Jackets.
So Kinley Stewart comes in to run at first. She's the go-ahead run.
And my jaw is still dropped on that 2-2. How do you hold up and not try to foul that pitch off for Cameron Stanford? And again, Sydney Nestor hits her spot, but isn't rewarded with the strike 3. Just all around.
I'll say it again, nothing has come easy for either of these pitching staffs. And now Nestor, who entered this inning with a 4-run lead, faces the toughest hitter in the Georgia Tech lineup. Bases loaded, game on the line. What else could you ask for here in game 3 of the series? Oh man, that's called just a bit inside for ball 1.
So just thinking out loud here. Awald is clearly the most dangerous hitter. Don't pay any attention to that 0 for 3 today. Do you kind of pitch around her?
Nope.
Risk giving the run?
You can't do
and
it.
take your chances with Mora?
Can't do it. Nestor's ready to roll. Maybe you're onto something here, Brantley. 2-0.
Well, the only reason I even bring that up is Mora came in as a pinch runner for Crosby Huckabee, who wore that pitch off of her kneecap early in the ball game. But do you really want Trisha Awald to be the one to beat you, or do you want to take your chances if you're NC State with Mora?
Here's the 2-0 pitch. Oh, Awald takes strike 1.
Yeah, 2-0 like that, you're looking for one pitch in one spot, and then if it isn't there, you let it go. But if it's in that wheelhouse, you just unload on it.
Georgia Tech has scored 2 in the 7th. Sydney Nestor up against it with 2 outs here in the inning. Ball. Oh, strike 2.
A little bit of a delayed called strike on that one.
Wow, 2-2 to Awald.
Let's do it here again. Let's get the 2 strikes.
Nowhere to put her. Sydney Nestor trying to earn a 3-0 start to this series for NC State.
Whatever you do here, do not leave anything over the middle of the plate.
Awald awaits the 2-2. Takes ball 3.
You can definitely tell this is an NC State crowd.
Bianca Mora waits on deck if given the opportunity in the hands of the most dangerous hitter in this lineup, Trisha Awald. Nestor's got her sign. Here's the payoff pitch. High into the air, deep to right field, and Awald puts Georgia Tech ahead.
That's why you have her in these spots. That's exactly why Awald is there.
Trisha Awald delivers the go-ahead granny. And Coach Jennifer Patrick Swift has a fine argument about the strike zone tonight. She wanted strike 3. Instead, Georgia Tech gets a second chance and they jump ahead.
She has every right to be upset. 3 consecutive times NC State has had 2 strikes and a potential strike 3 that goes the way of the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. And that is a massive home run.
What did
from
we
Trisha
say?
Awald.
What did we say coming into this inning? Georgia Tech can score it as good as anybody, especially with the home run. And it's Trisha Awald depositing the big fly, her 6th of the year, to put Georgia Tech in front. As you saw there, Jennifer Patrick Swift was ejected from the ball game for arguing balls and strikes.
And you had to think that that was coming if something like this happened. Georgia Tech taking the lead like that. She had already been warned once from the home plate umpire. And this time she gets sent to the showers early.
Trisha Awald took an incredible 2-2 pitch that was right on the corner. And that's exactly what Coach is arguing about here. I'm just surprised that Sydney Nestor is still in this game.
Yeah, at this point, I'm not exactly sure. I mean, obviously, this is your workhorse. This is your ace. But look at that pitch count. Over 150 pitches. I didn't think she could top what she did yesterday in relief, especially with an inning less of work. But she's found a way to eclipse the 140 pitch mark. But here's the thing. If she can get out of this inning, NC State is more than capable of putting up 2 runs.
The exact spot they were in earlier today. Scored 3 in the 7th to win 8-7. How about this? Crosby Huckabee is back into the game. After hurting her knee, she got hit by a pitch. Comes back in, so that's great to see for Georgia Tech. And she slots in here with 2 outs. That home run came, what, 8 hours ago in the first inning?
It seemed like it was a full 12.
Ball 2.
You'd have to think she feels a little bit shaky anytime something comes low and in on those knees after getting hit earlier.
She re-enters the game for Bianca Mora. Sydney Nestor was 1 strike away and 3 straight at-bats from ending the game. A double, a walk, and a home run that put Georgia Tech in front.
By no means was I advocating that Sydney Nestor and NC State intentionally walked Trisha Awald. But on that 3-2 pitch,
that was high in the zone, though. That wasn't a strike.
It wasn't a strike, but it was inside. If it was high and away, Awald takes it, and we're looking likely at a 10-9 ball game with NC State still in the lead. But with the inner wheelhouse, you know, lefties love when the pitch goes high and in because there's just something about that look for a lefty bat. They're able to get it. And, you know, kudos to Awald. She could have easily pulled that one foul, but she kept that thing barely fair down that right field line.
That was her first hit of this game, and for the most dangerous hitter in this lineup, the best time to do it as Huckabee goes down swinging. This game's not over yet, folks. Bottom of the 7th we go. Wolfpack need a couple to stay alive here in Game 3.
Yellow Jackets score 6 runs on 4 hits, 2 walks, no errors. 1-1. Get to the bottom of the 7th now. Score. Yellow Jackets 12 and the Wolfpack 10. Wolfpack coming up.
You know who's going to win this on a walk-off home run? Hey, do you have any water? I'm out.
Yep, right here. I have not drank out of it. You can pour it into your thing. Oh my goodness, this has been ridiculous. Dang, that is something right there. My God. Yeah. Hey, do you have your cot set up for tomorrow? Just stay the night. I do not blame her getting tossed.
Oh, you did. Yeah, you got to fight.
Do not blame her, dude. She was out there in that that umpire's
should have been strike three.
Yeah, yeah.
No, yeah.
I mean, she was out in his ear before Awald touched home. Like she had already been tossed.
Come on, let's go! Everyone run! Everyone talking! Come on!
Yeah, it's still the blondie.
Palmer Penholster.
Man, I mean, like we kind of knew it was coming, but then it's great.
Yep.
If you had your bingo card on crazy scores that would happen tonight, Bull Scorgani 12-10 as we roll into the bottom of the 7th. NC State down to its final 3 outs, much like Georgia Tech was in the last half inning. And it's Palmer Penholster's turn to try to put this game away.
Each team has had 3 innings where they've scored multiple runs, but none more important than the 6 that Georgia Tech just put up in the top half of the 7th.
The home run hero from Game 1, Randy Farricker, gets things started out in front of the changeup.
It's amazing how quickly the momentum has shifted back towards the Yellow Jackets on the third base dugout. NC State was looking to take the series here.
Georgia Tech searching for a first conference win. The same adage we said at, what, 4:30 when they had a 2-run lead going into the 7th. Here in Game 2, a similar chance for Palmer Penholster, who's gone 2 innings scoreless in relief. Look at Palmer talking it out, getting on the same page, telling her pitching
love
coach,
that.
hey, this is what I want.
I love that. I don't want. I do not
Penholster.
I do not want that pitch. Time. No.
2-1.
Now, if you throw a ball in the dirt, you're not going to get. You're not going to be able to do
wait, here's my call. Yeah.
There's a reason why I'm calling the pitches here.
Marty McDaniel, the pitching coach, must be going insane in the dugout right now. Here's the 2-1. 3-1 to Farricker. Bottom half of the lineup for NC State, but as we've seen, both these offenses can hit home runs. This game is far from over. Thanks for joining us tonight with Brantley Hatridge, Evan Budrovich with you. A dramatic 7th inning as Farricker takes strike 2. Georgia Tech led 6-5 in the 4th. The Wolfpack exploded for 5 runs, and we thought, well, this game might come to an end. NC State could take the first 3 of the series. That has not been the case in the 7th. Farricker ground ball is slow. Throw to first is in time. That's Jill Cilio with the play.
Cilio was showing her range over there at short. She was back almost at the lip between the infield dirt and the outfield grass. Was able to charge and make the play. That's a big first out.
The freshman shortstop doing a great job for that first out. Now Sack, the catcher, digs in.
You just feel like if NC State is able to just get one runner aboard, with the way that they're hitting, the way that the ball's flying out of the ballpark, it's no coincidence that Bridget Nordberg, who had double-digit home runs a couple years ago and 7 home runs last year, there's no coincidence that she is on deck.
One and one. NC State 10 runs on 7 hits. They exploded for that 5 spot in the 4th. And Sam Sack tries to kickstart the rally. Georgia Tech has lost 3 ACC games by 1 run. They now try to earn a first conference win tonight. 2-2.
And some frustration there from Sam Sack on that called strike. If anyone should know about that strike zone for NC State, it would be Sam Sack.
You're just joining us. A go-ahead grand slam put Georgia Tech in front of the 7th. Now on the bottom half, Pinholster gives up a base hit. Sack goes right into the corner, sprinting for second, and the tying run comes to the plate.
It's a winning double for Sam Sack.
You wouldn't have thought it ended easy for NC State in the 7th.
Oh no, there was no chance they were going down 1, 2, 3. There's no way they were going to go quietly.
Palmer Pinholster's been calling her shots in the circle. Now a special pitch runner coming in for NC State. So Roberts comes in to run at second. More importantly, the power of Nordberg comes to the plate.
Can NC State do it in back-to-back games, Evan?
Given the way this day has gone, anything is possible. Nordberg off their bat is foul. Palmer Pinholster trying to secure a first conference win for Georgia Tech. She pitched great in the earlier game today, has now come in relief. 2 1/3 scoreless tonight. They call them the Cardiac Wolfpack. They're in Exhibit A right here. Scored 3 in the 7th this afternoon to take game 2. Nordberg looks to reach base for the first time tonight. Two and 1.
And if I'm a hitter, that's the pitch that I'm looking for right there. Pinholster has shown that she likes to go to that off-speed pitch. It is significantly slower, so if a batter like Bridget Nordberg is able to stay back on that, she can easily drive this ball for a base hit.
2 and 2. Remember, head coach Jennifer Patrick Swift was ejected for arguing balls and strikes for NC State. And the ire of this crowd has come in full force on that pitch. One of the few times I'm glad we're broadcasting this game from the Murphy Center across the street from campus. 3 and 2.
Yeah, the tension at Dale Softball Stadium. We can hear it through the microphones out on the field, so I can only imagine what it's like to physically be there.
Palmer Pinholster facing a full count. Here she goes. Strike 3. 2 gone by in the 7th.
Big strikeout there from Pinholster. Able to get it just by the bat of Bridget Nordberg, and that's huge because it's 2 down now.
Carson Shaner set to hit in this spot. The speed of Roberts over at second. Merced had 5 home runs last year, so some power from the left side.
She's already got 2 this year. 2 of her 4 hits have actually been home runs. They just bring more power. You know, substitute power for more power.
She slides into the spot for Visser here in the DP role. And goes right after the first pitch.
Evan, it's worth noting last year she came in 4 pinch hit opportunities for NC State. All 4 times resulted in round trippers.
Coaching staff's on to something here in the 7th. Can the Wolfpack repeat the drama of earlier this afternoon, winning 8-7 on a walk-off home run? .891 in the state lineup here as Shaner's got those 2 dingers on the year. This is popped up and out of play.
It's worth noting who's lurking in the hole for NC State. I know there's 2 outs, but if Shaner and Lambert can find a way, could Sam Russ have the opportunity to hit back-to-back walk-off home runs?
Now the 1-2. Low. 2-2. It has been consistent tonight. What a battle brewing here. Carson Shaner off the bench facing Palmer Pinholster, who wins the battle, delivering the first conference win for Georgia Tech. What a comeback for the Yellow Jackets.
Just an all-around great game. Both teams slugfest. Georgia Tech able to get the Trisha Awald go-ahead grand slam, and Georgia Tech gets their first victory in the conference.
Georgia Tech riding the grand slam of Awald. Pinholster with a season-high outing, earning the win in relief. And this series is now 2-1 NC State. It all comes down tomorrow to decide the series, but for tonight, a dramatic 7th inning for Brantley Hatchridge, for our entire hardworking crew been here all day. We thank him for working with us. I'm Evan Budrovich signing off from Raleigh as the Yellow Jackets pick up a 12-10 win here in dramatic fashion. We did it.
I'm at a loss for words at what we just witnessed in these 2 games.